Welcome back to Serie A Spotlight. We're your hosts Jake
and Matt.
You know what time it is!
Jake and I will have a very special soft spot for Salernitana.
We love now.
This might be bad.
But your group has really some characters in it, no?
Ora naħseb.
Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Serie A Spotlight. This is episode 203 and we're your host Jake
And Matt.
here to run you through all the action of Matchday 18 in Serie A, while Matchday 19 goes on in front of our very eyes on a Tuesday.
So this is the thing that stresses us out the most. I think we can both
Yes,
agree.
yes.
We've discussed this before. How we feel like our episodes get outdated quite quickly because as we're covering a match day, another match day is taking place. Let us know if there's a format you prefer. We like to keep it clean and do match day by match day.
Yeah.
Even though next week what we'll have to do is do 2 match days in one because we don't have time
We'll
to record.
probably preview this one overall, holistically, and then go into more detail in the weekend fixtures, right?
Exactly, which is a shame
Yeah.
because there are some big games.
Yeah.
I believe there's Atalanta Bologna, if I'm not mistaken, which is quite a nice game. But anyway, we're here to cover Matchday 18 in Serie A. We'll start things off by covering the team that currently lead Serie A, which is Inter, who beat Bologna with the score of 3-1. Very good performance by Inter in general. Lautaro Martinez in particular, early on going down with a finger injury and then going on to dominate the front line for Inter along with Marcus Thuram, who got a goal and an assist. Great stuff by Zielinski in this game. Inter are absolutely flying. I believe that's 4 games without a defeat now, whereas Bologna, I believe, are 5 without a win. Cagliari 0, Milan 1. A really mundane match in Sardinia. Cagliari were very tough to penetrate. Milan did have a good moment which saw Leao get the decisive goal, and also Fulkrug got some minutes, which was good to see. And you could already start seeing the importance of a target man in the team as he was involved in some very good link up. Lazio 0, Napoli 2. This is going to take up a chunk of my time because there's a lot to say about both teams. A Napoli that have been flying since the Supercoppa, and Lazio who are busy making all the wrong decisions.
On and off the pitch.
On and off the pitch.
Yeah.
So the team with the worst discipline in the league and likely the worst ownership at the moment when it comes to decision making, when it comes to transfers, etc. I would not like to be Maurizio Sarri or a Lazio fan at the moment. So yes, Lazio fans, message us. How are you feeling?
David, we'd love to hear from you.
In fact, David's been a bit quiet recently.
He has been quiet, in fact. It's a disaster. Now they're selling their starters as well, and I don't think they plan on reinforcing, but we'll see.
I thought
some interesting comments by Sarri in the media as well.
I mean, do you blame him?
Yeah.
Atalanta 1, Roma 0 was a great game as well. Atalanta's
Ruined by the referee, yeah.
Ruined by the referee because you're saying because of the disallowed Scamacca goal.
We'll talk about it, of course, but Scalvini's goal was controversial, of course, and it did split opinion online. And then there was also the disallowed Scamacca goal, which was absolutely ridiculous.
That for me is bizarre.
Yeah, it's
that
bizarre.
one is bizarre.
It's insane.
The Scalvini one, Jake and I literally, I wouldn't say argued, but we had a heated debate about it. I'm sitting here wearing a Scalvini kit which Jake bought me, but that has nothing to do with my opinion on the matter.
Yeah, of course not.
But great game by Atalanta. Good to see them back beating the top teams. Roma, on the other hand, they take a bit of a hit recently, down in 6th place at the moment. Juve 1, Lecce 1 was another super entertaining game, and again for all the wrong reasons. I don't hate how Juve looked in this game. I thought Juve looked better than usual in this game, but it was the individuals. It was Cambiaso, it was David, and it was Openda that lost them this game. I really sympathize or empathize with Spalletti for this one. Lecce didn't do anything out of the ordinary to hold them, just Falcone was superb, no?
Yes, absolutely. This, had David scored that penalty right now as we speak, we would have Luca, one of our patrons. Shout out to Luca Argento.
Absolutely.
We'd have him right here on this table and we would be waxing his behind.
Absolutely.
It was a deal we had made. He said
And
he isn't shaving his buttocks until Juve win 5 games in a row, and this would have been the 5th one.
Yep, and I think David and Openda must have heard of that. They wanted to save our viewers from going through the trauma. So they decided to drop stinkers. Falcone didn't want it to happen either because he also had a banging
How do you feel about
performance.
that? Are you excited or are you dreading it?
Waxing Luca's ass. I
I've
think
never waxed a person before.
I've never waxed a person either. I'm not gonna lie, man. As it was looming, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell are we doing? We're supposed to be talking about football, yet we're getting Luca. We're waxing his ass. We said we're gonna lay him down flat on the table, and
facing the camera.
facing-
It'd be like right there, like really close here. We'll be standing behind.
which is just
It's gonna happen.
At what point of
At
the
some point.
podcast? Well, that's what
At the
United
very
stand
beginning.
thought. Well, you never know, but like. At what point exactly in the very beginning you'd go, all right, welcome back to another episode of Serie Spotlight. Of course, Juve won 5 games in a row. Luca, lay down, get the wax strips. If anyone wants to do the honors, by the way, anyone in Malta that wants
let us know
to,
if
some
you
some
want to come.
patrons, whatever,
Pull the
come have a
trigger.
fucking we all have a party on him, whatever. Como 1, Udinese 0. To be honest, I didn't watch this match. Or did I? No, I did watch this game actually. Good performance by Como. Udinese, of course, had that disallowed Zaniolo goal. It was a Zaniolo screamer. Was it Duvikas that got the goal over
It
here?
was
It was
Duvikas.
Duvikas, who just scored a doppietta today. He's on hot form at the moment, which is good to see, of course, because the other striker, Morata, is never on hot form, and he's making like these weird AI videos online at the moment.
Yeah, that's really weird.
They keep coming up for me. I don't know.
That trend. The baby, turn the lights off. Bang.
Oh, baby. Fiorentina 1, Cremonese 0, and 92nd minute winner by the injured Moise Kean. That is their second win of the season. Come on, Fiorentina. You should not be there, and you will not be there for long. That is the kind of spirit we like to see. You know, of course. To be fair, they were
Wishful
absolutely
thinking. They were terrible.
atrocious
Yeah.
in the second half. But we did see someone in particular change the game, and it was their new signing. Is it Solomon?
Solomon
came
came
on.
on. That cross to the far post that led to the
Yes,
goal, and he
and
was very lively.
He offered width, which is something that we haven't seen apart from the wing backs in Fiorentina, because they've been playing either a 3-5-2 or like a 4-4-2. But we haven't really seen them stretching their opponents up front. So it was good seeing Solomon and Goodmanson threatening from wide positions and whooping balls into the box. And that's how they got their goal at the end of the day. Sassuolo 1, Parma 1 is the game we'll be covering next. Goals by Thordsvet and Pellegrino. Pellegrino with an absolute screamer, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Showing that he's not just a fox in the box, but he can also hit it from distance. Verona 0, Torino 3. It seems like Cholito, this has become his trademark celebration. Just the apology. No one can do it anymore, because Cholito is doing it like
It
1,000
feels like-
times a season.
It feels like he only scores against former teams.
Hey, and to be fair, the goals are bangers as well. But G scored an absolute fucking scorcher in this game. Torino were great.
Yeah,
Verona
they were.
hit the self-destruct button though. Speaking of bangers, Genoa 1, Pisa 1. What a fucking goal by Colombo. Brilliant goal by Colombo.
Mental goal.
Great. I was listening to the commentary while I was out for a run, and I just heard the commentator losing his mind. And I had just gotten home. I run up and I see the crowd going mental. It's like 5 minutes after the goal, and Colombo still hyping the fans up. It was brilliant,
Because
man.
the atmosphere was electric in the stadium as well.
It really was.
And
They really
the-
turned up for a
they
6-pointer,
did.
which is
They
good to
did.
see. Of course,
And-
Genoa have a lineage of fans
of
dating
course,
back
a
to...
very historic club, the
Yeah.
oldest club in Italy, no?
Mhm.
And it was nice to see Colombo really enjoy the moment, and the fans, of course, and all the flags waving. And of course, we know that stadium is very close to the pitch itself. It's the most Premier League-esque stadium
True.
in Italy,
True.
actually. But 1-1 was the fair result over here, and we will get into it in more detail. very soon.
Absolutely. When it comes to our predictions, Jake and I essentially had a fever during last week's episode. Totally forgot.
For those of you who listen to these episodes in their entirety, you'd know that about 1 hour and 30 minutes in, we start going mental.
Yes, but especially last week. We were
Last
sick,
week,
eh?
we were unwell, so sorry for all the coughing. But
Yes.
as you can see, we are much better today, looking fresh.
I didn't even listen back to the episode. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
were
fucking
coughing,
listen
right?
to my
Yeah.
making like the entire. Yes, but
Yeah.
I know you guys probably weren't worried, but we're doing great. We do have a goal of the week, of course, and I think it goes without saying, no, brother?
Yes, it is Lorenzo Colombo for his excellent strike against Pisa. For those of you who haven't watched it, he chops with his right onto his left foot from outside the area and drives a lovely ball into the bottom corner from range with his left. It was absolutely brilliant. I can envision Colombo becoming one of those strikers, bro, who really hits his prime at like 30.
I see that happening. I see that happening, man.
He's so inconsistent right now, but there's something about him,
Bro, he's got a good goal in him. I know I criticized him heavily earlier on this season because he's super inconsistent for any club that he goes to. But this goal he scored, and I remember 2 seasons ago, scored a banger for Lecce against Napoli after missing a penalty. Do you remember that? Left-footed from outside the area, bullet.
That's funny.
That was our goal of the week as well.
We're saying he will peak at 30 when in reality he's already peaked at 15 because his Primavera record is a goal every 30 minutes.
You were telling me.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
He was massive as well for his age, man. He had one of those.
You know what I'd like for him, man? I'd just like for him to settle somewhere because it's not easy being a journeyman like this. You play at Genoa, Lecce and all these like teams that are struggling for survival essentially. But
absolutely.
anyway,
yes. So honorable mentions, by the way, to Pellegrino against Sassuolo, of course. Lamek Banda, or as Nick calls him, Lamin Banda, scoring against Juve. Nick, give us a scream.
The fucking GOAT!
The GOAT.
Lamin Banda.
The GOAT. Banda, all 5'3" of himself, scored a lovely goal. against Juve.
and the thing is, we need to be careful because United love signing a Lecce player.
They do.
Brother, sign him.
Sign him
up.
So who's gonna sign him? Darren Fletcher, Michael Carrick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whoever your manager is gonna be.
I'm not talking about this bullshit. Fuck this. Fuck this.
I am not a coach, I am a manager.
The Glazers.
Ing's goal against Hellas Verona was one of those that just scratches an itch when you watch it. It's unbelievable. That finish was just perfectly weighted right underneath the crossbar. It was unbelievable. What a shot, man.
Mental finish.
What a shot.
And then the backflip, you're kidding me. Score a goal like that and you backflip even if you can't backflip.
Exactly.
That's
and
my...
Zielinski, of course, had a goal against Bologna. That was absolutely lovely. Nice work by Thuram in the build-up play with a little cheeky flick on as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are our honorable mentions.
Yes, before we get into breaking down every single match, of course, as always, make sure to check out the link in our bio and check out Benevobid. They are our media partners. They give us a lot of opportunities. We give them a lot of love. They do have a fantastic product, so check out our link in bio to get autographed items from top players, including match-issued kits. If you question the authenticity, hop onto their Instagram and you could actually see players like Grosso signing off on these kits, which are in our studio at the moment. You can pick them up by placing your bid on Benevobid and following them on their socials. If you're new here, make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and YouTube and rate us 5 stars on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Do show us some extra love on Apple Podcasts. We had some audio issues like 3 months ago, which we've since solved. So obviously our ratings went down a little bit over there, so a bit of extra love there would really help us out. We do weekly episodes covering every single match, every single team, every single week, and we also have weekly episodes by a football analyst named Gianluca Lia, and it's called Tactics Imperium. So check out those episodes. Gianluca puts in a lot of work over there. He does a great job. If you really love us, become a patron. It's only $3.99 a month. You see, inflation is going on, and we've kept it at $3.99 a month. Guys, that's... Show us some love over there. Get your friends a Patreon pass. It really helps us to continue growing the podcast. And you will be added to our Discord channel with 50 plus like-minded legends with multiple channels for different discussions. And you can even win a free kit if you win our fantasy league.
Yes, and another potential perk coming up. Stay tuned next week.
Absolutely. Yes, speaking of our fantasy league, how is that going on at the moment?
Our fantasy league is an interesting one. I have been logged out of WhatsApp on my device.
Don't you worry, I'm gonna whip it out over here. You're better at using this this app than me, so you should take over.
Yes. So currently, Inter Your Mum is in first place, as we say every single week.
Every single week.
He has
Boring.
become dominant. Of course, David over there, 1,284.5 points gathered.
Oh my God!
Followed by Catenaccio, Maxi, US Salernitanga, but Daddy I Love Scamacca and Loco Choco Saul Cocco in 5th. Matt, you are currently in 8th. Zanity's asshole. While I Saponara Seaman is in 15th. Slowly swimming my way up.
Where are you?
15th.
15th.
I'm
Not
climbing,
bad,
bro. I'm climbing. I'm telling you,
How's-
I've been chasing Tim for way too long now.
In chasing
I
Tim.
need to catch Tim.
You like him?
I like him.
Tim's funny. I liked him.
I liked him. He's
And
hilarious.
who did best this week? I don't know if you have
So
that accessible.
yes. Juan Bonerby did best this week, and he's changed his name to Christian Pussylick.
Fuck yes. Fuck
And
yes.
owed
Legend.
the last episode, absolutely brilliant.
Because it was a
Pussylick
genuine mistake
Yes.
by Jake. I think we figured
It's
out that
crazy.
it becomes pussy
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
change the S at the end there and
Crazy.
then.
Christian Pussylick, 85 points this week. Very nice. It was overall quite a low scoring
Mhm.
week. Inter that Gatti Adam got 78 points. Interbred Daniel got 76.5. Of course he did because Keane scored. Did he start him actually? Of course he didn't.
That's hilarious,
Of course
man.
he did.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But
I got 75.5
you did
points.
very well, bro, as well. 75.5,
Yes.
of course. Not a very good week for me personally.
Yeah, my front line was amazing. I had Leao, I had Yildiz, and I had Castro starting, and they all contributed. But yes, shall we get into
Let's
the
get
episode,
straight
brother?
into it, brother.
So we'll start things off by discussing Inter 3, Bologna 1. Inter on a 5-match winning streak since the loss against Milan. And they were coming off a big win against Atalanta onto another big win here. They missed Dumfries. Autocorrect has fucked me up here because apparently they missed Dumfries and Darwin. I didn't know. Darmian, amazing, thank you. Dumfries and
Darwin
Nunes, he came from the Vika to the Big Reds. Now he's in Saudi Arabia. Palacios, Di Gennaro, Boni, and Acerbi. Bologna winless in caps in their last 5 in Serie A, coming off a draw to Sassuolo. They missed Bernardeschi and Skorupski, and they did decide to bench Orsolini in this game and bring him on, and that did give us shades of last season where he came on late on in the game and scored a 94th minute bicycle kick winner against Inter, while Inter needed a win to jump Napoli. That was fucking crazy.
I think that was the plan, no, to give them a lease of life later on in the game.
Yeah.
Not starting Orsolini.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was doubtful coming into this. I'll just have a quick look over here. No, he seemed to be in perfect health.
No, it seems like it's something
Tactical.
that Italiano does every now and
Tired
then.
legs. It's a good idea. I mean,
it
I'm
is.
all for it.
It is.
We remember David and Nicola's famous management of Lovumbosito, bringing him on to wreak havoc.
That's the creme de la
Yeah.
creme. And also Gasperini, pardon
With
me,
Luis
Gasperini
Muriel.
with Luis Muriel, that
was
raging
unbelievable.
pitbull.
I had Muriel on Fanta that year. I was always worried I was going to be a man down because Muriel would come on in like the 78th minute and he would score every single week.
Legend.
It was mental.
Legend, El Fenomeno. These sides, of course, recently faced off in the Supercoppa semis, where Bologna went through on penalties in one of the most disastrous penalty shootouts I've seen in my life. So, 3-5-2 for Kivu's men, Sommer in goal, backline of Bastoni, Akanji and Bissek, Di Marco on the left, Henrique on the right, midfield 3 of Zielinski, Çalhanoğlu and Barella, with Lautaro and Thuram up front together, 4-2-3-1 for Italiano's men, Ravaglia in goal, backline of home, Hegem, Lukumi and Liko Giannis, double pivot of Moro and Ferguson, Odegaard just ahead of them with Rowe on the right, Cambiaghi on the left and Castro starting up front. Inter set the tone early in this game. Lautaro got his fingers trodden on inside the opening minutes, but still he forced Ravaglia into an early save after a Thuram effort deflected kindly.
I thought he was going off injured.
You convinced me. And he was like, on another Fanta that I shouldn't be mentioning, he was against me, so I'm like, oh, thank God.
Another Fanta you shouldn't be mentioning. That's hilarious.
So Inter were absolutely mauling Bologna from the start, to be honest. By 20 minutes, they should have probably already had the lead. Lautaro robbed Lukumi, rode it for Thuram, and the pass was just a bit too weak. Hegem scrambled back and blocked what should have been a tap-in. It was a big let-off for Bologna. Ravaglia then goes full octopus mode, fingertip save on a looping Çalhanoğlu deflection. Then somehow he kept out Bastoni's header from crossing the line on the corner. But then the breakthrough finally came just before the interval, where Thuram flicked it cheekily into Lautaro's spot. The captain rolled it across, and Zielinski absolutely smashed a first-time left footer in from the edge of the area to make it 1-0, an absolute deserved lead. Second half, same script really. Bologna made some tweaks at the break, but Inter smelled blood. DiMarco forced another save. Then from the resulting corner, Çalhanoğlu picked out Lautaro, who powered a header in from 6 yards. That's 6 goals in 5 league games for Lautaro, and this one actually mattered. It wasn't a goal against or whatever. This was a big goal in a big game. Inter don't stop. Akanji poked wide from a set piece. Lautaro hit the bar from point blank range. He really should have done better. Then Ravaglia won yet another one-on-one duel against Lautaro, helped by a Hegem clearance off the line. Then the third goal is chaotic. Another DiMarco corner. It hits Thuram in the chest and ricochets in. He celebrated like a man that didn't know he scored.
But I think it was all a joke, to be honest.
He's hilarious.
He's funny.
Fair,
like
he's a funny dude.
He has the cheekiest smile in Serie A, I think.
He does have the
perhaps
cheekiest smile in
alongside
Serie A.
Leao, I would say.
Yes.
But Leao's more like a tick, apparently, according to an interview. He had
That's
no
what
idea
he says. That's what he says.
like-
But he also idolizes Ronaldinho, who played notoriously with a smile on his face.
But he said in an interview, the first time he saw pictures of himself playing, he was like, what the hell am I doing? It must be weird seeing yourself playing, like in the moment you're so focused and you have a big smile on your face.
You used to play with your tongue out, I remember,
Yes.
bro. Like that. Like you really like focusing.
Yeah, like
I'd play like
a
this.
90s Italian. Like that.
Like that, mugging.
That's cool.
Bologna grabbed a late consolation when Castro slid them from 6 yards to meet Allico Giannis. Cross Sommer was unable to keep it out, but of course too little too late. Brother, the main thing I want to discuss over here is Inter, 5 straight league wins, back on top, finally beating a bogey team convincingly. Bologna have given them a lot of trouble recently. 12 goals from set pieces this season. 2 of their goals in this game. So they were on 10 before this game, but 12 goals from set pieces this season. That is already halfway to last year's total across all competitions.
That's unbelievable.
It's insane.
It's unbelievable.
It's
I
insane.
mean, they have so many dangerous set piece takers, and at this point, it's all muscle memory from the routines that they had set up. And this group of players have been playing together for a while as well. So, of course, you get used to each other. You know exactly where your teammates want the ball. You know, you have people like DiMarco and Çalhanoğlu who can whip in a dirty ball, and that's without even mentioning like Zielinski, who's no bum, and Bastoni has a pretty good delivery on him as well. You know what I mean? It's just a team of players who are dominant in the air and who can deliver the ball very well.
For
and
sure.
They just have the best of both worlds. Even though, for example, Lautaro isn't the biggest player in the world, man, he is. I think he might have one of the best headers in the league. And funnily enough, now this is a hot take on the half, but I think the best header in the league might be Thorsby.
As in, Thorsby gets to them for sure.
Thorsby,
and they're always on target. They're always
no matter
on
how
target.
he hits it,
It's true.
from where he hits it, Thorsby's headers are mental.
It's true,
Yeah, and you know when you think of the nines in Italy, none of them are exactly like the big ones aren't exactly dominant.
We'll see Füllkrug, huh?
Yeah, Füllkrug.
We'll
We'll have
see
a look. Yes,
Füllkrug.
but Lautaro is definitely up there, despite not being the biggest striker out there. He's
It's true.
fucking dominant in the air, man.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Lautaro has 6 goals in 5 games, 10 total in Serie A. And actually, apart from that, he's also the 4th all-time leading scorer for Inter with 167 goals in 357 appearances, along with 53 assists. If I were to do some quick maths here, and I'm not using a calculator at all, I learned from the other one. That is 220 goal contributions in 357 appearances.
That's mental. And it's not like he is the most clinical finisher of them.
No, not at all.
In fact, this game, I think
He
had
missed 3 chances.
Yeah,
He
3
missed
good
good
chances.
chances. Honestly.
And to be honest, you'd expect him to do better in those. But then it's almost like the moment he doesn't have a lot of time to think about it, that's when he thrives, when he plays on instinct.
Exactly. When he has time to think about it, that's when he struggles.
He hits
really.
it at the keeper.
Exactly, exactly. And interesting because typically the dip that we see from Lautaro is January, February. It's this whole thing.
Yeah.
January, February, is Lautaro gonna slow down? It's currently January 6th. So we'll see what happens from here on out. But I don't see him slowing down, to be honest. He's only picking up, really. Another point on Inter is Zielinski. Man, I think that they can move away from this Mkhitaryan reliance.
Yes, man, finally. And you would have thought that it would have come much earlier.
Yes,
Zielinski was brought in a while back, but he did speak out and say that Inzaghi had his favorites. No?
Yeah.
Of course, Inzaghi had his team, and those were his guys, the guys he trusted, the guys he depended on. He wouldn't exactly rotate or give others a massive chance. He would bring on Zielinski if he had a lead, or if Çalhanoğlu had a yellow, for example. That's when he would bring him on. But now, man, we're starting to see Zielinski look back to his best. We're seeing him hit a level that I thought he couldn't even hit anymore, to be honest with you, because it had been so long since he was playing regularly that I almost forgot what he was all about. But he's reminding me of the Napoli version of himself.
Yes, man. Yes. And that's where he is at. And he's another guy that would be important for them over set pieces, over penalties. He was a designated penalty taker at Lazio, if I'm not mistaken. At Napoli.
Yeah, was he?
I believe so. Well, he definitely took some. But a very important player for Inter, and the fact that they have him and Sucic to kind of rotate with, and of course then they still have Frattesi, for example, over there, and still have Mkhitaryan. It's a lot of quality depth that they have in midfield at the moment, but of course they need to see what they're going to do with Frattesi, because they can't keep handling him the way that they are.
Absolutely.
But for me, it was the midfield that won them this game. Funnily enough, it was the post-loss press which was the foundation of everything. Lautaro openly said they focused on winning second balls immediately after losing possession, and that just didn't allow Bologna to ever really get into the game. After they won the ball, they were going for fluid vertical build-up with super high attacking identity, and the Zielinski goal is basically a depiction of that. They win the ball high up the pitch, a quick movement, and they've got a player essentially clean to the own goal or in a goal-scoring situation. Just a bit of notes on Bologna. Firstly, Ravaglia, he had another really good game.
His first
Ravaglia.
half, man, was super.
Bless you, Nick.
I thought you farted, dude.
No,
I thought you
that
farted.
that would be me.
Bless you, Nick.
Bless you, brother. I love you so
He did
fucking
fart.
much.
We're covering for him.
Exactly. But has Ravaglia earned a starting role? Because Skorupski is going to come back at some point.
Skorupski is not getting any younger, and I think Ravaglia has been very convincing, and he's been dominant in his area, to be honest with you. He has this great command of his area, and he communicates really well with his teammates. Now, granted, Skorupski's a good shot stopper, but I don't think he would risk making Ravaglia unhappy, who's 26 years old, for Skorupski, who's been better in his career.
He has been, of course.
Skorupski, of course, is on the decline, right? He's an aging goalkeeper. He's 34 years old. He's been struggling with injuries, and Ravaglia has been slowly rotated with him and introduced, and not only with Italiano, but even under the previous management of Motta.
Yes.
He had already started introducing Ravaglia slowly. So yes, if it were up to me, I'd keep Ravaglia, man. He's a towering figure. He's dominant. He communicates well. He's constant. When he concedes a goal, no one's more pissed off than he is.
It's true. And good command of his area. He's got some good size to him as well. Good handling of the ball. I think they're handling the situation well. No, they give them both playing time as they have for the past 2-3 seasons. I mean, I think this is normal integration. No, you've got a 34-year-old goalkeeper who's been starting for the past God knows how many seasons. You've got a 26-year-old keeper who is as competent as him. It's about passing the torch. So it's that natural integration, which I think they've been handling quite well. I do think that he is currently one of the only players that is having a good time in Bologna over the past 5 matches. They haven't won in 5 games, of course, in Serie A. And I think that goes down to a few things, really. I think they really struggle with putting away their chances.
They're very wasteful.
They are very, very wasteful. And I really want to see Ciro get to full fitness and to get a guy, because if you're struggling for goals and you've got Ciro and Mobile, now of course you guys know how much I like Castro. Castro plays a bit like a false nine. He's not exactly that guy that's going to get you, 15 to 20 goals in a season.
Someone to hug the line.
Exactly, someone to hug the line. And the only guy they have that can do that is Ciro and Mobile. So I can't wait for him to get back and to start showing his worth. And I think they concede first a lot. So they're often reacting in matches. If you pull up their last 10 games and you see where there were goals scored, you will often see that Bologna conceded first before getting a goal. And I challenge you guys now to open up your phones, open SofaScore, have a scroll and check that out, because they do concede first a hell of a lot, which makes their game very reactionary, which is sometimes when we see the best football by them, but in a game like this, the game gets away from them, because if you let the other team get good momentum, then you're going to struggle.
Yeah, another interesting thing is they haven't been playing Freuler. I'm not sure why he hasn't been playing Freuler, because he's been going with a double pivot of Moro and Pobega, for example.
I thought he wasn't fit.
No, he's fine. I'm as in he was injured for that Juve game. I'm not sure if he's easing him back in, but there's been the Supercoppa since then. It's been a bit, and he was available and he did come in against Inter, but
he's not getting any younger. Freuler, I believe he's like 34 years of age now, man.
34 is he, Freuler?
I genuinely think so.
Double check.
Can't use my phone because of the game
mental 34. Let's have a look.
I think so. Keep in mind, this guy was at Forest.
Mela.
There was all that he had a side gig there for a while.
Yeah, he is 33 years old. 33. No, he's not getting any younger.
There we go.
I feel like he controls the tempo, and without him, sometimes Bologna lose control of games.
Absolutely.
Also, not to mention that I am not the biggest fan of Jonathan Rowe. There, I said it.
He hasn't convinced me yet, but there is I think he showed flashes of what he's capable of. I don't think he's too used to the league yet, which is very difficult for attacking players.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's coming from the French league.
I think he holds the ball for a bit too long. I think he releases at the wrong times. I think sometimes he shoots when he shouldn't be shooting.
Yeah.
He's just a bit rusty right now. I'm not going to judge him so quickly, but we'll see.
Yes. Look, I think I had said this initially in the predictions. Bologna are a fucking great team. A super well-managed team. I think their manager allows them to perform even better than the starting 11 is. But with multiple competitions, I do think they don't have enough depth. They don't have enough quality players to be able to compete on all fronts, at least. And at the moment, that's what they're attempting to do. And they've taken a bit of a hit in the league at the moment. In fact, currently, where they stand is 7th place. Of course, they do have a game in hand, which won't move them up much, however, because they're on 26 points. Roma above them are on 33. So Bologna need to find another level and go on a good winning streak. Inter, on the other hand, are on one hell of a winning streak. That's 5 games in a row, 39 points, just 1 point, however, ahead of Milan and 2 ahead of Napoli. And they do face Napoli next weekend, so that's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little note before we do move on Inter's transfer market. There were rumors linking Cancelo to Inter, but I believe he's going to Barcelona.
His favorite destination is Barca. There was another point.
But basically now they're gonna go for Dodo of Fiorentina.
Oh, are they?
And Dodo is in a position where he can easily force a move. Just like, we don't know, Sarri hinted that there were some players at Lazio, for example, who were unhappy. And out of the blue, suddenly, boom, Tati Castellanos is gone. Boom, Guendouzi's probably off to Turkey. So I don't know if something similar might happen with Fiorentina, where some of these guys say, listen, this environment is toxic. We're not getting any better. We have no leadership over here. I want out. Don't put it past them, And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys left.
It makes total sense. And Inter would be smart to look at Dodo. I think he fits their system to a T. Plus, Cancelo, who is currently playing at Al Hilal, I believe Inter offered them. Like in Maltese we say Aral Witch. Look at their face. They have the face.
The audacity.
They offered them a Cherby.
No way.
Here's 39-year-old Cherby.
Last Christmas.
But,
Alright.
over to you, brother.
Yes, and Luis Enrique has been rumored to Besiktas, but we'll see how that develops.
He's not quite giving them no shit they want a right wing back because
Yeah.
Luis Enrique isn't giving them what Dumfries gives them.
Exactly, which is very difficult because
Yeah.
Dumfries turned into prime Cafu last season. But yes, we will move on to Cagliari 0, Milan 1. This is a very romantic day for Allegri as he was the ex of the day. Of course, Allegri managed Cagliari from 2008 to 2010. He took charge of 74 matches with a record of 27 wins, 15 draws and 32 defeats. You could see him in the tunnel signing. I don't know if it was in the tunnel actually or in some kind of museum of Cagliari, but he signed a picture of himself and he went, Moto Capelli, It's the classic joke, like, look how much hair I had. Yes, but this was the first Serie A game of 2026 and it was an Allegri special, to be honest. 1-0, it was controlled, it was efficient. It started off terribly, but quickly everyone calmed down, of course. And Milan got the job done. Cagliari's last home win over Milan dates back to 2017, the 28th of May.
Louise.
It was a 2-1 victory with a goal from João Pedro, and then Lapadula equalized for Milan. And then Pizacane scored the winner.
No
and now
fucking
Pizacane
way.
is managing Cagliari.
Insane.
So,
Nice
yes.
one, man.
Interesting, yeah. But as for the lineups, we had Caprile in goal for Cagliari in their 3-5-2 formation with Rodriguez, Luperto and Zappa at the back, Oberto on the left, Palestra on the right, with Mazzitelli, Prati and Adopo in the middle, Sebastiano Esposito and Kilic Soy partnering up together up front. For Milan, it was Magnan in goal with Tomori, De Winter and Bartesaghi at the back, with Salamakers on the right, Estupinian on the left, Rabiot, Modric and Fofana in the middle. Loftus-Cheek partnered the 50% Leao up front. Now this is a quote, okay? If Leao was 50%.
Mhm.
If everyone was going. He couldn't run, he couldn't change direction quickly. I don't know, that's... Before we even get started, bro.
Can we discuss it? It's gaining traction.
If a player isn't fit to start, then surely he shouldn't be starting, no?
So, typically, but Milan's only other option is Pulisic, who also wasn't 100%, and Fulkrug that had landed a day and a half ago.
But if Fulkrug landed a day and a half ago, honestly here, because it's not just about a tactical choice here. This is Leao, who should be very important for Milan's season going forward, and he shouldn't be risked. Now, granted, he scored the winner, but why risk aggravating an injury? Do you know how hard it is to see a loose ball and to think to yourself, no, I can't chase this because I'm only told to play at 50%. Plus, how can you gauge what 50% really is?
Hey, you're right.
You know?
But what you said is essentially the answer. He started Leao, and then Leao got the only goal in a 1-0 victory when he played at 50%.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. In an ideal world, you don't play a player if he's only 50% fit. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't do it on Football Manager.
Exactly. On Football Manager, the second he's taken a slight knock out.
Football Manager.
He's got the flu. Send home.
I'm lying. Inject the cunt.
You
sometimes.
inject them, eh?
Sometimes I inject them.
I've never
Sometimes I
injected
inject them.
to be fair, I haven't played in the final in a while.
If
so I
I'm
would
playing
inject them
Cardiff,
for fun.
I inject them. You know, this is League One stuff, guys.
Yeah,
sorry.
this is this crisis, of course, stems from Nkunku being out, Jimenez being out, Pulisic and Gabbia not being fully fit, of course, and Pavlovic having a fever despite being on the bench.
Yep.
Because apparently, fuck it, no? This Milan are just fuck it this year, you know? We're sending injured players onto the pitch. Players with fever can come to the game. They can infect everyone, you know? They can. This is probably Pavlovic's fever is the one Pulisic had a while back.
It's
jumped
true.
from player
It's
to
true.
player. Now it's hit
You see
Pavlovic.
on FM when they have a flu, I send them home. I don't send them to the club
Exactly,
doctor.
because it can spread.
Allegri.
It's interesting to know that Cagliari were missing Bellotti, Folorunsho, Felici, with Mina and Deola only being fit enough for the bench, and Luvumbo just coming back from AFCON. So 2 minutes into the game, there was a disastrous start from Estupinian, who made 2 sloppy errors in the opening minutes. Prati and Palestra failed to punish Milan early on. Okay, between the 5th and the 10th minute, Cagliari continued their strong start. Adopo had a free header, which he headed straight to Magnan, and Milan looked asleep. Leao almost got behind after a Salamaker's cutback, but Luperto did just enough to stop him from doing so. Mazzitelli went on to hit the side netting after a clever Prati dinked pass, and this was the best Cagliari chance of them all. Cagliari were winning all the second balls, and Milan were really struggling with tempo and intensity, and it cut to Allegri, who went, we started well, huh? Clearly in Italian.
Berate.
Berate, exactly. Juan Rodriguez brought down Loftus-Cheek in the box, but there was no penalty, and Leao was offside in the build-up. And then in the second half, a different Milan came out, and this has been a theme this season, with Milan coming out differently in the second half and playing much better. Leao came out and smashed the crossbar early on, but the ball, of course, had gone out of play for a corner already in that chance. And Rabiot was pushing higher and stretching Cagliari wider. In the 50th minute, that's when Milan got their goal. Salamakers played a lovely ball, keeping possession when being pressed to Fofana, who set Rabiot free down the right, who played a weird-looking cross in behind, but it managed to reach Leao, who smacked it into the roof of the net clinically. It was Zappa who completely misread the cross. Of course, I think it confused him. He was expecting it to come in front of him, and it came behind him. And it totally bamboozled him. So Leao controlled with his right, finished with his left into the top corner from close range. So this was the 12th time this season that Milan scored with their first shot on target.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Milan don't blow teams out of the water with opportunities, but the chances they get are usually high quality chances. Of course, after the goal, Esposito was forced off with a cramp. Full crew came on. He made his Milan debut just hours after signing from West Ham. Kılıçsoy attempted an overhead kick, which was deflected wide by Ricci, and there were a bunch of appeals for a penalty on social media, but then even Pisacane came out and said there wasn't a penalty in his opinion, the coach of Cagliari, of course. And then Pulisic came on for a cameo and forced a save from Caprile at the back post after a nice full Krug layoff. The last moment, Modric nearly sealed the deal with a cheeky low free kick around the wall, which I really enjoyed.
But let me tell you, man. Either the commentators have something against Milan, but you have 40-year-old Luka Modric going for, like, if any other team, any other player would have gone for something of the sort, I'm sure the commentators would be losing their friggin' minds. It just feels like I think commentators don't get too excited about Milan. Like, that shit was lit.
Fair enough, bro. To each his own, right? Maybe they're more into Pisa. So
Sure.
Milan managed the game, and they managed to take home 1 point. So, brother, Leao...
3 points.
3 points, sorry, yes, thank you. Leao got man of the match. He got 27 touches and 1 goal.
No, I disagree, but...
So who was your man of the match?
My man of the match is likely to be... Good question. I enjoyed Rabiot.
Rabiot was excellent.
I enjoyed Modric. Probably because of the assist, I'd give it to Rabiot.
I think Rabiot's
say.
performance was excellent, to be honest. I thought he was physically dominant. I thought he was all over the place. For me, he was the best player on the pitch for me.
I think so. No, this man of the match, the second someone marketable scores a goal, they just give that man of the match. It's the
player
same
of the month, give it to Vardy.
Exactly, that idiot. I'm kidding, obviously. I love Vardy. What am I saying?
Another point, bro, that I want to talk about is De Winter. Because De Winter had an absolute disaster in the Super Cup, but has since, in the league, hit us with back-to-back decent performances.
Decent performances in a favourable spell where Milan did a lot of the defending in front of them, right? So he gets turned, as we see him get turned multiple times by Højlund in a single match. Now, with the way Cagliari were set up and Milan's previous opponents were set up, I think it favours the defender in a sense that you know how to defend against someone who just has their back towards goal, unless it's Lukaku that's absolutely dominating you. it's a bit easier in a sense.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from him, he's improved. He didn't stick out like a sore thumb like he did in the Super Coppa Italiana semi-final. But it's a good sign. At the end of the day, this guy's he's a 22-year-old centre-back.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting used to playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world now. You know, this is a big money move.
Absolutely. The thing that really annoys me, my pet peeve when it comes to the winter, is the way he defends. He is so handsy. Like, put your hands down. What are you doing? We're in the era of VAR now. You can't do what Pepe used to do at Real Madrid.
Exactly.
Back in the, you can't
Exactly.
be doing. You can't be smacking the opponent
Alright,
like that.
more, bro, more,
You know?
please, more.
He's just, you know, like, come on.
No,
Put
I'm
your
not
hands
his.
down.
I'm not his biggest
No,
fan,
not
and
at
I think Milan have addressed the striker situation. Now they need a defender.
Yeah.
I'm seeing. Get serious when you post shit, man, because I'm seeing links to Bayern Munich's Kim Min-jae, who's on a salary of I don't know how much. Milan,
unlikely,
it's
isn't
very
it?
unlikely.
Yeah.
You think Bayern are going to give Kim Min-jae to Milan on loan with an option to buy for what, 25 million? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's happening.
Absolutely. Yes, Bartazaghi showing his flexibility, playing at left centre back flawlessly, was very impressed by him. Salamakers, as always, I love. Estupinian shaky, yeah? I think he was the weak link this game. Especially in build-up, man, funnily enough.
In
You
build
don't
up,
expect him to be the weak link in build-up.
I think he's a shadow of what Milan were expecting him to be. I think there were 2-3 moments where I was impressed with a piece of link-up that he's done in the entire season, essentially. I think Bartazaghi, who is half his age, is double the player in most areas of the pitch. Defensively, aerially, even going forward and crossing. I think Bartazaghi is a lot better than Stupinian. The fact that you could, in a game like this, slot Bartazaghi into left centre back.
Brilliant.
Milan have a gem here with
Yes, yes,
Davide Bartazaghi.
Absolutely. For me, the problem with Estupinian, up until this point at least, was that every time he would do something good, he would do something bad immediately after, or vice versa. So it was never like he wouldn't actually collect W's. He wouldn't collect good moments. He would constantly, do a good thing, do a bad thing.
Yes, man.
No
And
growth over there. No progress. So yes, very disappointing over there. But thankfully, Bartazaghi makes that a little bit of an easier pill to swallow.
Do you think Estupinian's been a flop for now, for Milan, so far?
I would say so. If you arrive to be the starting left back in a team that doesn't have another left back apart from the teenager they've just promoted, and you lose your spot to him, that makes you a bit of a flop, doesn't it? Unfortunately, as harsh as it is.
100%.
Yes. To give Cagliari their flowers a little bit, they are as awkward as it gets for as an opponent to play against. They are very tricky. They are also very well drilled. We're talking about how Pisa are well drilled last week. Cagliari are, I think, the best drilled team in that relegation scrap.
For sure.
By quite somewhat.
I think Cagliari play magnificent
Yes.
football. They
Yes,
had
yes.
that goal last season with look, if they
And they're missing so many players.
they're
This is
missing.
unbelievable
So
how well they play with.
the injury list that you gave is of course accurate. However, Yeremina was only fit enough for the bench. Deola, their metronome, their
Only fit enough for the
regista, only fit for the bench. The biggest one, in my opinion, Gaetano coming on in the 66th minute. Whenever you see Cagliari building play up, this guy is central to these moves. He
But
is
he's
incredibly
often used
fluid.
off the bench, Gaetano.
True. Borelli, who of course came on, that was a decision. They wanted to start Kilitsoy instead, but
He was also
Borelli's,
injured.
if Cagliari decide to go more direct, go straight to the target man, who drops in a little deeper, and he empowers the like of Sebastiano Esposito, etc. I think Borelli is super important with his hold-up play.
Yeah.
And even aerially, over here, bro, from a corner, a free kick, they didn't have Borelli and Yeremina.
Yeah.
That is a massive
loss, yeah.
asset for them.
Yeah. And they've managed to put together a decent team, man, when it comes to the depth, of course, because they've got Bellotti out. Borelli is coming back from injury. And they still managed to start two very tricky strikers in Kilitsoy and Esposito. Interesting to see as well in the 83rd minute, Eselametti Senja Pavoletti coming on, who is still playing for Cagliari. Of course, I think it was last season. Was it last season or the season before? They gave him a 2-year contract and everyone was like, what the hell?
I think the start of last season.
Yeah, it was more of a romantic gesture than
I'm all
anything else,
for
but
it.
he deserves it.
I'm all for
he was the promotion king.
Cagliari are that kind of team. They look after their people. I think, at least from where I'm standing.
From what we have seen, yes.
Yes.
But yes, that's pretty much it regarding where the teams stand right now. Milan are in 2nd with 38 points, while Cagliari are in 14th with 18 points.
Yes, brother. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Lazio 0, Napoli 2. Lazio are going through it at the moment, to say the least.
They are.
Winless in their last 3. 1 win in their last 5 in Serie A. Coming off a draw to Udinese, they miss Delabashiru, Dia, and Gigot. They also have, Delabashiru, Dia, and Gigot, exactly. They have Dia at AFCON, Tati sold to West Ham, Noslin being their only striker, and he's more of a winger. Of course, he did pick up a red card in this match, which means they have no striker in their next match against Fiorentina. Rovella, only fit for the bench, soon back. Even just looking at the lineup, I want to start criticize. There's so many talking points by just looking at the lineup of Lazio. So Provedel in goal, Sarri's favoured 4-3-3 formation. Marusic on the right, Pellegrini on the left, back two of Romagnoli and Hila. A midfield 3, which is central for Sarri's system, in Basic, Cataldi and Guendouzi. Zaccagni on the left, Cancelleri on the right, Noslin up top.
What don't you like about this?
It's not what I don't like about this. It is that we've gone from Immobile up top to Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to Luis Alberto to Lucas Leiva and all these great midfielders and attackers that they had. Now Basic, Cataldi, Guendouzi. And the thing is, I get it's where they're at right now. They didn't have a transfer market. Rovella's been injured for a while, I believe, with a hernia, whatever. Basic, Cataldi, Guendouzi. Right. Guendouzi is... he's the guy in midfield.
Yeah.
He does the job of 2 midfielders.
Yes.
He tackles, he runs, he gives passes. They're going to sell him. To go from Basic, Cataldi, Guendouzi to Basic, Cataldi, whoever the hell they replace.
Rovella, to be fair.
Yes, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
No, it's not enough.
Rovella and Guendouzi are... They should be their 2 staple midfielders.
Agreed.
They're crazy about removing Guendouzi to sign Fabian. Why?
No, we are seeing over here a club in decline. Eh? We are seeing a club that recently reached certain highs, and they were a team that seemed to pride themselves in their star players. Every window, Luis Alberto, Immobile, and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic would stay put. For the longest time. Even the likes of Felipe Anderson, Lucas Leiva, I believe, was there for a while.
Was there for ages.
Yeah, they were all regulars. They had become
cemented.
Lazio.
Exactly.
You know?
Their identity.
Now, the club is in such a serious lack of identity that you have a coach who doesn't have the players that he wants. You have players who apparently can just be bought halfway through a season. The second an offer comes in, 30 million euros, boom, goodbye Tati Castellanos. Okay, sure. But it's not like you're going to reinvest.
Now
I highly doubt they'll spend a cent.
Now you want to make money. Now you want to make
it's
money.
It's not the time, eh?
You saved so much.
It's just unserious right now. And Lotito has overstayed his welcome by way too much right now. He goes to these conferences, he can't even stay awake. There are memes of him on a monthly basis coming out where he just passed out, like
literally,
sleeping.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like, he just seems so indifferent to everything going on
and Lazio,
in this club.
Lazio are, as a fact, in crisis. We'll get into them because I haven't even done the play-by-play yet, and we're already going in on them.
Right now, his ears are bleeding.
Napoli are in hot form since winning the Supercoppa Italiana, coming off a 2-0 away victory against Cremonese. They missed Anguissa, KDB, Gilmore, Lukaku, Beukema and Oliveira. They have Vanya in goal, backline of Di Lorenzo, Rahmani and Juan Jesus, Politano as a right wing-back, Spinazzola as the left wing-back, double pivot of McTominay and Lobotka, with Neres and Elmas playing behind Oilund. So Napoli started assertively and were rewarded early. Politano delivered a teasing crossing from the right and Spinazzola ghosted in at the back post to volley home completely untracked, making it 1-0. Lazio briefly threatened through Noslin, but Napoli stayed in control and doubled their lead just after the half hour. Another Politano delivery, this time a floated free kick, found Amir Rahmani totally free inside the box. He barely had to jump, guiding his header past Provedel. Lazio protested for fouling in the area. VAR, check VAR. Oh, you hate us. Obviously, the goal stood as it should have. Before the break, Napoli nearly killed the game outright when Elmas headed Neres' cross onto the bar from 6 yards. Should have done better. In the second half, opened with Lazio trying to raise the tempo, but Napoli still looked more dangerous. Neres was forced off with a possible ankle strain, and Elmas missed 2 more headers, and Isaacson was denied by Juan Jesus. From there, the match descended. Noslin picked up a second yellow for a clumsy challenge on Buongiorno as their only striker, reducing Lazio to 10. Moments later, a brawl on the touchline saw both Adam Marisic and Pasquale Mazzocchi sent off, leaving Lazio with 9 men. If I was Mazzocchi, I'd get pissed off that I was sent off over there. As the clear instigator, now not to be that guy, now I am a younger brother. My biggest phrase and defense that I would give to my parents is Pa, he started it.
He was never wrong.
I was never wrong. He was an asshole. But if someone pushes you and you push them back, is that a red card?
You know what the problem is? So it was Marisic who instigated, right?
Yes.
Marisic instigated, but the worst contact of them all was done by Mazzocchi. Mazzocchi hit him in the face a bit. And I've seen people say,
literally. Pasquale Mazzocchi.
Yes, you can actually.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I've seen some people say that, like, listen, 2 yellows would have sufficed over here. But I think the fact that, like, they were both lunging at each other and a match that was getting just heated, more and more heated. Conte had to get in the middle of them. Everyone around them was gathering for a brawl. I think those 2 red cards were just like the ref literally stamping his authority.
Yeah.
Maybe the red cards come out, people scatter like cockroaches.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. No, they both had each other by the collars of their shirts.
Yeah,
they're almost going to ground. Conte's there separating them. By the way, Conte loved the look in this game.
Cool,
he went for the hat. He went for the classic Napoli manager, like sleeveless kind of windbreaker. I liked it, but whatever.
Then you see Cancelleri like talking to, like, what the hell could you possibly be saying to Conte?
It's crazy. Yes, fight man.
Oh yeah, man, come on.
Sign me.
But the thing as well is that the commentator said that this incident was a bad advert for Serie A.
Shut up.
Disagree.
Shut up.
Love to see it. What do you mean bad advert for Serie A? What do you want, robots on the pitch? Lazio were getting played out of the picture and they got pissed off.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
fine.
The bad advert.
It's competitive spirit.
They're
You don't want to
obsessed.
see competitive spirit.
Everyone's obsessed with how Serie A is advertising itself, whatever. This is a game of football where someone lunges in for a challenge. The other one's pissed off because nothing is going their way. And he grabs him by the fucking shirt. If it were another team on another stage, another occasion, you'd be praising the fight or look how much it means to them or whatever. It's not a bad ad for Serie A. Come on.
These are the same people who say, game's gone because it's not as aggressive anymore. You know what I mean?
It's a bad ad. The amount of red cards Lazio have gotten to see. It's a bad ad for Lazio. That's as far as it goes.
A bad ad for Sarri.
Just to finish the play, Sarri is. I'm concerned. I'll tell you so.
What
He just had heart surgery and he's seeing all that happen in front of him. They're selling his best players. It's a disaster. He's cooked.
Wow.
Anyway, just to finish the play-by-play, Lazio had a final moment of hope when Guendouzi thumped the header against the bar.
This would have been mental
And,
if it went
it would have been scenes. He thumped the header against the bar in stoppage time, but Napoli unfazed, absolutely. Saw it out. I'm going to very quickly, give flowers to Napoli.
Go for it.
But then we can really go in on Lazio.
They deserve it, man.
Fourth consecutive 2-0 win across Serie A and Supercoppa. Neres, who went out with an ankle sprain, will miss Verona, but he aims to return for the Inter game. And he will be pivotal because at the moment, you guys already know this, in my opinion, Neres is the most effective player in the league. Lautaro, he's up there as well, don't worry.
Effective, you said.
Effective, exactly. Spinazzola, I particularly enjoyed. It's crazy to see how much he's changed, but so he doesn't run with the ball like he used to. But when you have... So Napoli really went for a wing play in this game. Why? Because they've got Pellegrini and Marusic. Tavares was I don't even think he wanted to be on the pitch. I think he knows how Sarri feels about him. He knows he's on his way out. Lazio Lounge, shout out as always, commented on he was warming up with one of those Arsene Wenger jackets on. Like, you're warm. Like, why are you warming up in that? You don't want to be on the pitch, but whatever. So they really attacked the wings, and Politano cutting in, going for the far post where Spinazzola was ghosting in at the back. Spinazzola's been getting to these balls all day. They're putting him on a plate, man, in completely in dangerous positions. He's not the guy he used to be where he gets the ball, does a couple of step overs and takes it to the byline. He's now getting to the end of these, and it's so clever by Conte to get a player. Everyone thought he was past it because he couldn't do what he was doing earlier. Just tweaks the game slightly. You've still got an eye for a goal, man. I'm going to put you in the right position at the right time. And
So if you
like
want
that,
Chiesa back, you
his
give him
career.
to Conte.
Exactly, pretty much.
Yeah.
Napoli have, I think this 3-4-3 formation is their formation. I think they look frighteningly complete with the amount of injuries they have. With KDB out, with Anguissa out, with Lukaku out, with Beukema out. Would you guess from seeing them put in this performance?
You wouldn't think that this team is going through an injury crisis because of how much more quality they had than Lazio, man. Like, McTominay hardly put a foot wrong. This guy can't recall McTominay missing a pass.
McFratema.
You know, the midfield was just on another level completely compared to Lazio's. Yeah.
Absolutely, and with two men in midfield versus the midfield three of Lazio. Just a note on Politano.
Oh, man. I love Politano.
Politano, he won... and what was it? I read a stat somewhere. That at Inter, Politano was out of favour for both Conte and Spalletti. And now he won a league at Napoli with Conte and Spalletti.
Yeah.
Which is
bizarre.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's fucking crazy. But since his arrival at Napoli in February 2020, he has a total of 28 goals and 27 assists. He is one of only 3 Italian players to have scored more than 25 goals and provided more than 25 assists in Serie A, alongside, as always, Domenico Berardi, who has 62 goals and 41 assists, and Antonio Candreva with 28 goals and 32 assists. Candreva, I miss you so much, bro. I fucking love Candreva.
Yeah,
Where
he's
is
on
he?
the wall.
The wall.
When he was at Salernitana, where he would only score bangers.
The wall, not to be confused with Steve Borch, former centre-back of
Sport.
Gżira, Hamrun, everyone.
Still playing, with Valletta, I think.
But he retired from the Malta national team recently.
Yes.
When I represent my country, I am the wall. Cold compilation.
I love that intro.
But Lazio, 7 red cards this season. You heard that right. I'm not even taking the piss. That is 18 games of football, 7 red cards. In 3 matches, they got 4 red cards. 2 in one game, 2 in another.
Because now they're aggressive. Now they've got this chip on their shoulder. The whole it's us against the world, and when things don't go their way, they get even more pissed off and they end up fighting and diving into silly challenges. For me, Dudu head of the week is Noslin.
Dudu head of the week is Noslin.
Because you've got the strikers just been sold. Tati Castellanos.
Yep.
You've got Dia in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And Pedro looking more like a waiter on a cruise ship nowadays than a football player. You know what I mean? And all you have to do is not get sent off, and you have a guaranteed start next game and an opportunity to prove yourself.
Madonna. Against Fiorentina, which
And it's not like he had a terrible game. He rounded the keeper at one point. He was lively. He was okay.
You can't say he had a decent game. He rounded the keeper and he didn't score.
Yes,
You know
no,
what I
but
mean?
but as in he was one of
He was so good, he even took the ball onto the goal
He
line.
also chose to dribble the keeper, weirdly enough, like bizarrely, to be honest, from that
No,
angle.
but-
But he was definitely one of the livelier players on
Yeah.
Lazio. So
Yeah.
all he had to do was stay healthy and get a nice start. Like what's the next game, man? Who
Fiorentina,
are they against? They're
tomorrow.
against Fiorentina.
Or tonight. I don't even know, man. My concept of time is fucked.
God
after
knows what's
New
happening.
Year's.
How isn't it Sunday? There's football on the
This
TV.
is the weirdest day of my life, to be honest. But I know Dudu head of the week, and Dudu head of the week alongside Noslin is what's his fucking face, the president, the owner, Lotito, devi vendere vattene. That's the DVV we're talking about, man. How can you choose to not have a striker? That's what I want to know. You wanted 30 mil that badly, that now you don't have a striker, your only striker available is Tiani Noslin, and let's say Tiani Noslin didn't get that card, let's say Dia wasn't at AFCON. You think that's fucking Lazio standard? Because it's not, huh?
They have
Those
an
two
eagle
guys
for
are
next
not-
game, but they don't have a striker.
They have an eagle and they have a falconer or whatever the fuck they call it, but they don't have a striker. Now they want Raspadori. I will bet you, Jake, live I will bet you, they don't get anywhere close to signing Raspadori. Because if Raspadori has half a brain cell, which he does, I'm sure he has half a brain cell, he will go to Roma. Because Roma, with Gasperini, he can play in a 2 up top supporting a bigger striker like he was doing at Napoli. He could play in a 3-4-2-1 where Dybala is constantly injured and actually you get a right footer over there. So he fits into that team amazingly. And imagine then Roma gets Zirkzee, how well he'd play with
I
Zirkzee.
might disagree with you here. And
You
say
think
that-
what's the better career choice for him?
I think right now, man, Lazio present themselves as an opportunity. This is similar to Fiorentina without the looming
Disaster.
risk of relegation. But right now, Lazio do need a game changer. They need someone who can score goals. And then, to be honest, I think the fans are desperate enough that if Raspadori does go, they'll give him a very warm welcome. And he might become the main man very quickly over there. And it's.
But is that what you want?
It's Sarri who has had strikers similar to Raspadori actually historically, because Mertens, exactly.
Mertens.
And Mertens
a good
became
point.
the top scorer.
I had him
in
on
Napoli
Fanta that year.
history,
He was
exactly.
ridiculous.
It will. I mean, don't imagine Raspadori is going to arrive and become that immediately. It would take some time, but
No
he's
way.
definitely more suited to Sarri's game than Tati Castellano's potentially was. But yes, Roma, he might get phased out. I mean, Dybala will always get the start if he's healthy.
I think if you
And they want
are
a proper 9.
if you are an ambitious footballer who wants to be fighting for Europe and the likes and to test yourself and to put yourself in a situation that can get the best out of you, you don't go to a team that's falling apart because it increases your chance of playing time and being the star and the fans will like you, etc.
It might be a stepping stone.
He goes to Roma.
Short-term
He
contract.
goes to Roma. They fight for top 4 and he's pivotal. Roma just scored again. Evan Ferguson again. Insane.
That's Dovbyk, no?
That's Dovbyk. Evan Ferguson and Dovbyk.
That's mental that they both scored.
So enough about Raspadori because coulda, shoulda, woulda. Guendouzi. They want to sell Gwyneth to Fenerbahce, who are offering 25 millis. And they want Fabian or Ruben Loftus-Cheek to replace. Now, if they go for Loftus-Cheek, I don't think it's that bad. Because he knows Sarri, he plays a similar system to Guendouzi, a similar position to Guendouzi, which is that mezzala, box to box, of course. Guendouzi, tougher, wins the ball back more.
Guendouzi's way more
physical, but
yes.
they're both box to box at the end of the day.
Yeah. Guendouzi is a tackler, like to the point
It's a bad decision.
Yes,
it's a bad
yes.
decision.
They're just downgrading. Yeah.
Downgrading everywhere. everywhere, and like you couldn't do what you wanted in the summer. So like, don't worry, I would hate to be sorry because he joins. They're like, oh, by the way, transfer ban. It's like, fuck, I'm leaving. They're like, no, stay. January, don't you worry, bro. January comes, Tati Castellanos out, Guendouzi out. It's like, sorry, we haven't even signed Insigne yet. Like, what the hell is going on at Lazio? What the fuck is going on at Lazio?
It all started from Juan Bernabé, the downfall.
The downfall all started from Juan Bernabé. You're absolutely right.
After Juan Bernabé...
You mishandled Juan Bernabé.
After Lotito fumbled the bag with Juan Bernabé, Lazio haven't been the same.
They cock-shamed him.
They cock-shamed him. How dare they? How
Exactly.
absolutely
He
dare
was
they?
being body positive and they shamed him for it.
Exactly. Look at my cock.
One day in the future, you'll be able to take the company to court for this.
Exactly. Bernabé, look, if anyone is torn between where should my money go, Serie Spotlight patron or a Juan Bernabé OnlyFans account. So you can't do both because they're both.
That was just cheaper.
That was just cheaper. But anyway, I'm pretty sure we'll get to discuss the crisis of Lazio more in the coming weeks because I don't see them
probably get worse.
getting out of it. They are currently in 9th on 24 points, just 1 point ahead of Sassuolo and Torino, so mid-table. Whereas Napoli, of course, are in 3rd on 37 points. I can't wait for Inter Napoli. I can't wait for Inter Napoli.
That's going to be one of the potential matches of the season.
Absolutely. Biggest so far.
Yes. Atalanta 1, Roma 0. An emotional return for Gasperini, who looked like he could barely contain himself and his emotions with the warm welcome
that was beautiful.
That Atalanta gave him. Just to run back his career a little bit and how incredible it was, from 2016 until 2025, he was the coach of Atalanta. He managed 439 matches with a record of 228 wins, 102 draws and 109 defeats, becoming the coach with the most appearances in Atalanta history and even winning the 23-24 Europa League. Unbelievable. He managed to take a team that was a relegation team and make them into something that a Scudetto dark horse, a top 4 contender every season.
Sister.
A seven sister. Yeah, that's it. He was absolutely incredible what he did over there. He built a dynasty. He had some of the most fun teams to watch, man, that will go down in history that I will be telling my children about.
Yeah.
I will tell my children about Papu Ilicic Duvan.
Fuck Guardiola's Barcelona.
Fuck those guys.
No, but what I completely get to. The guy, if you look at the singular impact a manager has had on a football team, look into it. I mean, what Gasperini has done at Atalanta, taking them from that into beating Bayern, never losing in the Europa League final, just amazing. And a consistent Champions League contender, eh?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Would have potentially knocked out PSG had it not been for Ilicic's depression. But
you mean PSG?
PSG. Atalanta have finally done it. They have beaten a top team. And by a top team, I mean a top Italian team, of course, because they've been beating these other supposedly top teams for a while now, as they beat Frankfurt, Marseille, Chelsea in the Champions League. Granted, they lost 4-0 to PSG, but we won't mention that because it doesn't fit the narrative. But yes, this season, Atalanta have really struggled against top teams. We're talking a loss to Inter, a loss to Napoli, a draw to Milan, a draw to Lazio, and a draw to Juve. But finally, they've played Roma, and they have managed to win. Now, funnily enough, Atalanta haven't lost against Roma in 7 consecutive matches now, with 6 wins and 1 draw. And Roma had actually scored in 15 consecutive matches against Atalanta coming into this. Atalanta's last clean sheet against Roma came in February 2009.
Oh
and that
my
gives us
God.
a lot of information about Gasperini, because Gasperini seems to lose to Roma, but they always conceded. And now Palladino is changing the trend, right? It's a different looking Atalanta. They don't come at you guns blazing. They're a bit more pragmatic.
Yeah.
It's interesting to watch. Regarding missing players, Atalanta were missing Bakker, Bellanova, and Bellanova and Kosunu and Lukman, who were in Africa.
Bellanova, not to be mistaken with the Lenovo software hardware rather. They're like phones.
It
no,
happens
Lenovo.
sometimes when names end in a vowel. Sometimes
I've said Belanovo a
I've
couple
said
of
Lovumbu.
times. To be fair, that's what the commentators call him, Lovumbo.
Lovumbu.
Lovumbu.
Yeah.
Patrick Hendrick calls him Lovumbu.
Lovumbu.
You see?
Hilarious.
There you go, Patrick.
Pellegrini, Bove, Bailey, Baldanzi, Zolkowski, Celik were all out for Roma, as well as El Ainawi and Indica, who were away on AFCON international duty. Carnesecchi was in goal for Atalanta in their 3-4-2-1 formation with Kolasinac, Jim City and Scalvini at the back, Bernasconi on the left, not to be confused with Berlusconi, Zappacosta on the right, Ederson and Derun in the middle, with Zalewski and De Ketelare playing behind Scamacca. Zvilar was in goal for Roma in their 3-5-2 formation, 3-4-2-1 formation, with Mancini, Zolkowski and Hermoso at the back. Okay, so Zolkowski was doubtful for this game, but he made the start. Celik, Cristante, Kone and Rensch made the midfield, with Sule and Dybala playing behind Evan Ferguson. So 30 seconds in, Kolasinac collided with the referee and dropped him. The referee, instead of getting up, called him over. You can see it from the referee. Called him over and made him help him up. You can tell from Kolasinac's face that he thought it was weird. But now let's get straight to the football. The ref,
Come help me.
this 30 seconds in summed up what the referee was going to do this game. A total disaster. It's the bald one. I don't know if you want to check his name. I don't know if it says on SofaScore.
It does.
Is it
Michael Fabri.
Yes.
Fabri. I've
Fabri
heard
is
this
infamous.
guy's name in...
When a
Fabri's
referee's name
notorious.
rings a bell, you know that he's a bit error-prone or blunder-prone. But yes, 6 minutes in, Ederson gave the ball away carelessly at the back without any pressure, something that Atalanta have grown used to doing, as Grim City did twice last game. Dybala had intercepted his pass and he found himself one-on-one with the on-rushing Carnesecchi. Now, Carnesecchi did brilliantly to react immediately. It was crucial over here. He played the ball to Ferguson, whose shot was saved by a diving Carnesecchi's foot. The rebound fell back to Ferguson, who went for a chip this time, and it was cleared off the line by Grim City. So that's just 6 minutes in. 11 minutes in, Scalvini got a goal off a corner. It was controversial as he appeared to foul the goalkeeper. The rest of the half involved Kone stupidly running into a brick wall and losing the ball. Atalanta countered swiftly and smoothly, and Zalewski ended up hitting the target from close range. Rensch and Hermoso lost the ball clumsily in their own half. Hermoso's error actually led to Bernasconi crossing to Scamacca to score, only for the goal to be scandalously disallowed. Now, this was absolutely unbelievable. The offside that it was disallowed for, that VAR had deemed to be offside, was way before.
It's not consistent from the decisions
Scamacca
that were made last
didn't
week.
even touch the ball. It's just absolutely bizarre. This is the weirdest one so far this
It's
season.
not consistent with the decisions that were made last week, where they said if 9 seconds pass from foul play, then it's not gonna interfere. Keep in mind, the guy didn't even touch the ball. This whole interfering with play, if you're completely blocking the goalkeeper's vision, sure.
Yeah.
But that was bizarre. That screams to me. Now it's probably not, but it screams to me match fixing. That's how bizarre it was to me.
But match fixing doesn't go through referees, huh? That's not really a thing. That's like the calciopoli. I think nowadays match fixing is more like players intentionally getting yellow cards, intentionally making mistakes, keeping players.
Yes, I mean you can pay the ref as well. You know,
it's just extremely risky.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm saying it screams that because it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Like I can't fathom how a referee would look at that and come to the conclusion that Atalanta were given an unfair advantage in that build-up. Because that's what should be foul play.
Yeah.
If there's a significant advantage made to the attacking team and an unfair one, there wasn't.
I will finish the rundown. In the meantime, Nick, I sent an email to myself. You can access it from the laptop with a replay of that Scamacca goal, and I'll show it to you over here, bro.
Nice, thank you.
In the second half, Roma caused some problems, particularly from the right side. Sule and Wesley ran to the byline, and Carnesecchi had to make some saves, while Gym City had a great block to deny the ball. And nice to see Gym City defensively, apart from his lapse last week, lapses, has been solid again. Yeah, Bernasconi failed to hit the target from a counter-attack, which saw Ederson playing him through lovelily. He should have done much better over there, Bernasconi, but we'll forgive him because he's young and very talented. Kristovic got close twice too, once off a header from a really good Maldini corner, and another one from far range, which the keeper saved well. Now, let's get to this bloody decision.
You going to the Scamacca one first?
Yes, so let's start. Yes, so we have the Scalvini one as well.
Let's start with the Scamacca one.
Let's start with, exactly.
Nick's pulled
So
it
let's
out
start with
now.
this. Nice,
So
excellent.
let's
So
start with
we've
that.
got this situation over here where you can see a long ball being played over the top, to which Hermoso miscontrols into the path of Scamacca.
Yeah.
Now notice that Scamacca was standing in an offside position before Hermoso touched the ball. Scamacca takes a touch past Hermoso, switches the play all the way to Zalewski, exactly, who finds Bernasconi out wide, does really well to take it to the byline, lovely cross, and a header by Scamacca, only for it to be ruled out bizarrely for his position in the build-up. Absolutely bizarre. I can't understand it. You can't defend this one.
No, I can't. I don't get it. If I'm stupid, spam the comments, call me an idiot, say I shouldn't have a podcast, but that is in absolutely no way an offside, foul play, whatever.
Even the replay is confused. What are they showing you in the replay? Like, they're not even showing you anything. The commentator was Manuel
De Pasquale.
was
Pasquale, not
he
De
couldn't
Pasquale.
believe it. He couldn't
What
believe
the
it.
fuck, Patrick?
No, you cannot cancel this, Patrick.
That's fucking bullshit, Patrick.
And now we can talk a little bit about the Scalvini goal, bro, because we had mixed opinions on
Yes,
this.
we did.
Now, we have a replay of this as well, Nick, if you want to pull it up as well.
I sent
it's on
you
WhatsApp.
some screenies as well.
So, the ball comes in. Wrench rises and makes contact with the keeper before...
Exactly.
Before Scalvini does.
Before
Make contact
Scalvini
with
heads the ball or
Exactly.
makes contact with the keeper.
Now, Wrench has his elbow in the keeper's face, and that was the main force that actually blocked Villar, who didn't come out well, right?
Yes.
However, after that, Scalvini's knee makes contact with the keeper, and both hands push down on the keeper as he makes contact with the ball with his shoulder, and it goes into the back of the net. I am not sure if this goal should have been disallowed. I'm not sure, honestly. But I am surprised it wasn't disallowed. I'm totally surprised. Because having the VAR room looking at that and saying everything is perfectly fine, would that surprise me?
So I don't think your surprise comes from the fact that it's a dodgy decision. I think your surprise comes from the fact that that dodgy decisions have been made and soft decisions have been made, because I don't think there was any... I think the significant contact which puts Villar to ground was by Wrench, which, by the way, what the fuck is Wrench doing that the goalkeeper is looking to put his arms up to grab the ball, and Wrench has his arm stopping the keeper from putting his arms up for no
His
reason.
elbow in his
Because he
face.
didn't know who was to his right, because he had no spatial awareness. He's like, whoever this is, I'm going to stop him from doing what he's doing. It's his keeper trying to collect the ball. So you could see, before Scalvini has made contact with anyone, or made his presence even known, the keeper is going to ground. Now, because the keeper is going to ground and Zalewski jumped up and the keeper is falling into... Scalvini, sorry.
Scalvini,
And
yeah.
the goalkeeper is falling into Scalvini, essentially. Scalvini puts his arms down, he makes contact with his knee on the keeper, and he heads the ball in. But the goalkeeper was put to ground by his own player. So for me, Scalvini did absolutely nothing wrong by simply chesting the ball into the back of the net. I don't think there was any bad intention, any militia or anything that Scalvini did incorrectly there.
Militia.
Militia.
Um, No, I still think he made too much contact.
I completely
I
disagree with
think
you.
he
There's
made too
no
much-
world where I
much
d- where
contact with
I
the
agree
keeper.
with you in this
I don't
in this
like
case.
that. I think he led with his knee. He pushed it down on the keeper. I'm very surprised. For me, if that was against my team, I would feel hard done by.
I would want Wrench out of my team immediately because
No, but I would
Wrench
feel hard
puts,
done by the referee.
but Wrench puts the keeper to ground. Scalvini didn't.
Yeah.
Wrench did.
Yeah.
Wrench did. As a result of that, there was Scalvini made
Scenario.
contact.
Now this might be a bit silly, but if a player is going to ground and midair you kick him, he
What?
tripped over his teammate.
Nah,
He's midair hitting the
That's not
ground.
fair. That's not fair.
Why
man.
not? It's the same
That's not
situation.
fair because you go up to head the ball and someone going down. Okay, Scalvini's knee was.
It was high, man, and it made contact with the keeper.
Okay, but there's no rule against a high knee. A high knee is
If it
when
makes
you
contact with the player, sure, there is. It's a foul.
Yes, but it's not like he put his knee in a dangerous area because the
No.
goalkeeper fell into his knee. No,
Okay,
I really don't think there was any foul play by Scalvini.
Let us
I
know
think the
below,
goal should have
guys,
stood.
because I'm actually curious to hear what everyone thinks about this.
Because, sorry, but for me, a foul is a player commits a foul on, said, for example, opponent or goalkeeper. He does something to stop the player from interfering legally and therefore gains an advantage and either scores, gets an assist, or whatever. It's a foul. It denies an opportunity. In this case, that contact that jeopardized the ability of the keeper, which is why people are carrying foul because the goalkeeper was jeopardized, was made by his own player. So in what world do you look at Scalvini and hold him accountable for putting the goalkeeper to ground
yes,
when the goalkeeper
I
was put
understand
to
what you're saying,
ground by
and
Wrench?
I am in agreement with you that it was Wrench who
Wrench.
collided with the keeper, and he was the person who was at fault for the goal and at fault for Villar not getting to the ball. However, I think that it cannot be denied that Scalvini made contact with the keeper and not with the ball. And that, to me, by my understanding of the game, is a foul. And not only would that have been a foul outside of the box, but historically, goalkeepers are always that little bit protected. That little bit of protection to goalkeepers. You need to give it to them.
Mhm.
For me, it rubbed me the
Okay.
wrong way. To
Let's-
use a quote,
let's end-
to use your quote of last week.
Let's end the conversation here because I
because we're
think we
not
can
gonna
just
agree,
go.
but let us know.
Let's go in a
Comment
circle.
Team Jake, Team Matt.
Exactly, or just put your opinion. up to you. Really good to see Scalvini back. Really good
He
to see
went
him
off
back.
injured.
He went off injured. I think it was more precautionary. I don't think
hope
it
so,
was.
because he's
I
such a
hope so.
talent.
This guy, in my opinion, Scalvini, totally separately to what I believe is a foul and what isn't. I'm a huge fan.
He's
I
great,
think if he didn't have the significant injuries, including an ACL that he had in 2 key years of his career, I think this guy's ball playing ability from defense and his ability to carry the ball up from defense, he could be. I'm talking. Look at Bastoni. Look at Calafiori. This guy could be competing with them, and I still think he has the capacity to do that. I think he's brilliant, man. I
Yes.
love Scalvini.
He's fantastic. He also looks like one of those naked baby angels that older women have
That's
at-
amazing, bro. That's amazing. Yes, even Barella kind of looks like one, man. When Barella and Scalvini naked with tiny willies above a bed in a frame like that, bro. That's crazy. I don't know if that's a universal thing or a Maltese
in Malta,
thing.
that's massive. Like,
Yes.
in fact, even growing up, we had a few naked angels at home.
Yeah.
Really weird. So Carnesecchi made his 100th appearance for Atalanta across all competitions.
Wow, already? Man's like 12.
Yes, absolutely. But yes, Atalanta continue to show that that they've moved on from Gasperini's style and have kind of started to manage games better. With less dominance, they can suffer better, but they can protect a lead without overwhelming teams. And they're looking very mature. And I'm a big fan of how they look. I'm a big fan of Palladino. And I thought Palladino outclassed Gasperini this game, pinning the wing backs, just using his superior quality over them and forcing Darun and Ederson into a lot of pressure over and over again.
Yeah, completely agreed, and it's good to see that Palladino has managed to insert his system on this team. I always feel a bit weird when something worked with one manager, so they seem to want to find that continuity and do it with every single manager that they hire. When, in my opinion, that's not how football works. Signing Juric because you want him to play like Gasperini is like putting a kitten in the wild because you want it to run like a cheetah. I don't think it makes sense, and I think Palladino is a top quality manager who still has a lot of untapped potential, and I think a place like Atalanta, a club that is so well run, I think it's a good place for him to grow and for the club to grow together simultaneously.
Agreed.
I think it's a good fit.
This was always the best way to go. Fuck that Juric appointment.
Yeah, it's weird.
Just to show you
Madonna.
what a great tactician Palladino is, when Roma were finding a lot of luck through cutbacks on the right side, he doubled down on that side and completely stopped them from happening immediately. Just to show you how Roma really struggled to get involved, Dybala had 0 shots on target, 1 key pass which came in the 6th minute. He won 1 duel and he managed 0 dribbles from 3 attempted.
And he played 90 minutes.
Yes, which is crazy.
That's
so
in 90
nice
minutes.
To see him doing back-to-back full games, but this was not a good performance. He got totally zoned out. For Soulé actually managed 1 shot on target. It was in the 52nd minute, and he should have actually squared it to Ferguson.
Yeah.
He shot from a really weird angle. So that was pretty much his game. Ferguson, of course, he had a double miss in the 7th minute. He had a chance to go through clean on goal, but he failed because his touch was too heavy. And Cristante, who normally has a decently high pass accuracy, was forced into 77% pass accuracy, which is low by his standard, and he lost possession 22 times. So their press was relentless.
Wow.
Yes.
It stood out to me that, of course, you mentioned that Atalanta finally got a win against a big team, which they hadn't done before. They managed to draw against Milan. That was okay. But Roma's record against the teams above them continues to be abysmal.
Poor, yeah.
I don't have any notes on it in front of me, but just by looking at their results over here, of course, loss against Juve recently, loss against Napoli recently as well, a loss against Milan, a loss against Inter, you know?
Yeah, not good at all against the top.
Now a loss
And
against Atalanta.
and in fact, they're
Hey,
starting
a
to fall.
win against Lazio. A win against
Massive.
Lazio and Bologna.
Massive. Yes, so Atalanta are in 8th place with 25 points, while Roma are in 4th place with 33 points.
Next up, Juve 1, Lecce 1. Juve take a hit after 3 straight Serie A wins, 4 in all competitions, and 1 away from having Luca Argento shaving his ass live in our studio. They most recently beat Pisa, and here they missed Vlahovic, Gatti, Rugani, and Milik. Lecce have kicked off a very tough spell with a good point. That's 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses in their last 5. Not too bad. They missed Berisha, Morente, Koulibaly, Raffia, Sotil, and Fuchtel. It was surprisingly a 4-2-3-1 formation by Spalletti, and I say surprisingly because he kind of led us on and made us think that he was going to play a 3 at the back forever, but he's finally moved away and moved into a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 style. Di Gregorio in goal, backline of Kalulu, Bremer, Kelly, and Cambiaso. Thuram and Locatelli in a pivot with McKennie ahead of them. Yildiz on the left, Conceição on the right, and Jonathan David up front. 4-3-3 for Lecce with Vladimiro Falcone in goal, backline of... So it's saying Sepulveda here, but his actual name... What's his actual name? Sepulveda is part of his name, but I would rather refer to him as...
Matias Perez.
Matias Perez, exactly. Matias Perez on the right, Gallo on the left.
Call him Sepulvina, bro.
Sepulveda. Gaspar and Gabriel as the 2 centre-backs, Kaba, Ramadani, Maleh in the middle, with Pierotti on the right, Banda on the left, and Camarda up front. Juve came out flying in Spalletti's new 4-2-3-1, pinning Lecce back. Cambiaso was everywhere down the left. Yildiz drifted inside constantly, so they were really creating overloads on the left. And David is on the end of chance after chance after chance. Falcone denied David's header with help from the post. and then kept out efforts from Cambiaso and McKennie. Locatelli fired just wide. It felt like a matter of time until Juve opened the scoring. In the 32nd minute, Mattias Perez, he was just for the first 30 minutes, he was getting cooked by Yildiz. So in the 32nd minute, Lecce pulled the plug early and brought on Danilo Veiga ahead of him. The change steadied them and slightly dulled Juve's momentum. However, in the 46th minute, still in the first half, Lecce opened the scoring against the run of play. It was an absolute disaster for Juve as Cambiaso underhit a square pass in build-up. Banda read it, intercepted it, skipped past Bremer and smashed it into the top near corner. Di Gregorio finally had something to do, and that was picking the ball out of the net. Whistles ran around the stadium by Juve fans. In the second half, Spalletti threw on Zagrova immediately, and there was some kind of an impact over there. However, it was Locatelli in the 52nd minute, Juve equalised. It was Locatelli that found Zagrova in deep. The ball is worked across to Yildiz. His shot took a deflection and dropped perfectly for McKennie, who finished from 7 yards. Game on again. Now, in the 68th minute, David's volley was blocked by the arm of Kaba at point-blank range. VAR intervened and there was a penalty awarded to Juve. It seemed like Yildiz and Locatelli were standing over it. Of course, we thought Yildiz was going to take it, but I don't know if it was Yildiz's decision or Locatelli's decision to hand the ball to David, who's been struggling recently, and it was their way of going, here's your chance, get a goal, find some form, find some momentum. David steps up, attempts a Panenka, almost changes his mind as he was striking the ball, underhit the Panenka completely. Falcone saves the ball with his feet, and David is there with his face in his hands, like, what the fuck have I just done? I literally had this chance and I completely fumbled it. We'll discuss that soon.
Yes, we will.
Juve kept coming, and then Kostic came on and he was threatening quite a bit. Falcone pulled off a sensational reaction save from David late on, and then in the 93rd minute, Yildiz produced a moment of magic as he beat a man, struck the woodwork, he struck the post. Ball comes to Openda on the rebound quite quick, but he's there with an empty net and he balloons it over the post. So David
Tough
and
angle,
Openda, tough, should have scored, should have done better. You get the ball on target there.
For the price.
Before I get into what I actually think about Juve for this game, how the game went, etc., etc., I feel like I've drilled this point home quite a bit, and it comes from me being a Milan fan and seeing Milan not having a dedicated penalty taker, just handing a penalty taker to your friend, to someone that should be taking it because they need a goal or whatever. A penalty taker is appointed. A penalty taker is appointed so that if you're drawing 1-1 to Lecce in the 60th minute and you need a goal and you get a penalty, you have someone reliable that can step up, score that penalty, and then if you get another penalty, when you know you've won the game and whatever, and you want to give it to someone when the stakes are low to score, to get their confidence up, that's when you start handing penalties to your teammates to put up their confidence, not when you're 1-1. You can't seem to score, everything is going against you. You give the penalty to Jonathan David, who is so low on confidence. And that's how it translates. It's not like it's going to be a different person stepping up to take the penalty. The lack of confidence showed clearly. It was in two minds.
For me, I don't even think he showed that he was low on confidence. I think he showed that he was a bloody douchebag. That's what he showed, bro. He was on the line.
You go to dink it.
He was bouncing the ball like he's in the NBA, like a basketball player before he took the penalty. Then he put it down, and that's the type of penalty you go for. If you're low on confidence, that's what you do. You try a chip. That's what you do if you're low on confidence. Because personally, I think I could be at my most confident and I wouldn't try that personally, ever. Like, come on. No
What's
way.
he doing?
And again, the same thing. Yeah, I mean, these penalty takers are designated, as you correctly said, for a reason. These are the people who can step up. I don't like these charity penalties.
No, man.
Like, if you're winning, if you have a substantial lead and you're convinced that the other team can't get back into it, sure. If Juve had a 2-0 lead, or even a 1-0 lead, sure, whatever. You'll understand it a little bit more, but you're tied. You need someone to score. You're against Falcone, a player who knows the league so well, who's been in the league so well for so long, man.
And
he's no mug.
And like I'm sure if I had to have Jonathan David in the studio right now and we're fucking interviewing him like on why did you think that penalty, he'll say this. He'll say, I thought the keeper would definitely dive because I'm low on confidence and they would never think that I'm gonna dink the ball. So put it straight down the middle with power into the roof of the net. Not like that, so he saves it with his leg no matter
dove
which.
the wrong way and just kicked the ball away.
Everyone in the world would have saved that penalty. Even you listening, you would have saved that penalty. It was absolutely ridiculous. And for me, I no longer empathize with someone like Jonathan David because fuck that. How dare you, man? How dare you? You're playing for Juventus.
Thank you for sparing us from Luca's filthy scrum.
Yes.
But yes, the Juve fans' frustration is palpable after that. This switch to a back four and other news for Juve worked really well, especially the way they started the game. First of all, I don't think De Gregori had to make a single save.
I don't think he made a single save. I think he
one.
conceded the only shot on target.
Exactly.
In fact, yes,
right?
confirmed. So 25 shots for Juve, 6 shots for Lecce, 1 shot on target for Lecce, and they scored from it. In fact, Juve created chances. I think this was the most fluid I've seen Juve.
Especially in the first 20 minutes. Can I tell you this? In the first 20 minutes, they had 9 shots. Juve. Okay, 9 shots. They had
this, me on a night out?
7 key passes in the first 23 minutes. In the first 30 minutes, they had 6 corners. Okay. After the 40-minute mark, they recorded 12 shots. Yes.
No, they looked amazing in my opinion. I think this was when it comes to passages of play and Spalletti ball, essentially, this was the most like quintessential Spalletti ball, good passages of play that I've seen Juve. But it's down to the individual errors. So we're talking about the David missed penalty. We're talking about the Openda missed rebound. Of course, Vlahovic, the other idiot, is out injured. Cambiaso's the one that gave the goal away with a shitty square ball in their own half. So if I were Spalletti, I'd go mental because I'd
choke him out.
I'd all of them. I'd beat up all of them because he was so let. Honestly, he was so let down by his players and Cambiaso and David. We've seen these mistakes from them before, so it's even more frustrating. On the positive, I thought Yildiz was not good. I thought Yildiz was outstanding. He had 100 touches, over 100 touches, a constant threat. Unlucky with that last strike that smashed the crossbar. What a fucking move that was. I think the guy, at one stage in Yildiz's career, he can be the best player in the world. Honestly, I think he's that good.
Could be. How old is he nowadays? Yildiz, he's
21, bro.
He's
like 21,
young, right? It's not an exaggeration.
Pull out confirmation of that. 20, bro.
He's 20. Christ almighty. Born in 2005.
You're taking the piss. How many players are as good as Yildiz age 20?
He's good. Yes.
Not many,
super.
Bro. Not fucking
Lovely
many.
Player. They have a real gem over there, but I think he hasn't renewed, right?
Check out his contract situation. I have no idea. So I know that obviously everyone wants him. I mean,
it would say on transfer market, right?
Yeah, that's gonna save you. That's gonna save
so
you.
He'll be in
Another
Turkey
big, literally. Come to United so you'll play like shit.
So his contract expires in 2029. It's fine. Yes.
Good. Let's keep this guy in the league, man. I think Juve fans who complain about the quality of the team and then complain about Weston McKennie under the same breath. I think Weston McKennie is such an asset, not as a starter, but just like utility to bring McKennie on.
There's a reason every coach plays him.
Sure, man. Sure.
He's fine. He's a decent player. He's solid.
Got a good goal over here.
He can contribute,
an important goal. I'm more concerned about Cambiaso. I'm more concerned about Openda. I'm more concerned about Jonathan David. Yeah. But I think Juve are onto something good. I think those are the key moments that defined this game. Again, I thought Juve did quite well, but it was their individuals that let them down. They now sit in the race for top 4. So right now, as we are recording on the 6th of January at 8 p.m, Como have actually played and they won, which puts them level on points with Juve, but Juve are in 5th as it stands on 33 points, level with Como in 4th place, while Lecce are in 16th on 17 points, and that's 5 points ahead of 18th placed Fiorentina.
Microsoft Word, my brother. Moving on. Nick, how far in are we? 145.
I have 2 games left.
Almighty, I've got 3.
You've got 3
I've
games
got
left?
3 games left. Dude.
Holy fuck.
This is a bit badly managed by us, huh?
So much to talk about.
Nicolas Gasperini.
Let's go.
All right, so Como 1, Udinese 0. This was another massive home win for Como as their unbeaten run at the Senegalia continues. It was decided by a penalty this game, but Como deserved it. This was the 3rd match between Fabregas and Runjaic, as they had each won 1 game each prior to this. So this was kind of like a final best out of 3 for them, and Fabregas won it. Udinese, fun fact about them, is the team who have conceded the most goals in Serie A this season with 28, equal with Torino and Fiorentina.
Really?
Yes. Udinese is also the team that concedes the most goals in the first 15 minutes of the second half, having conceded 6.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, missing this game, Como were missing Nico Paz, as he had diarrhea. True, straight up. He had diarrhea, he had the runs. Udinese...
Fair enough, man. I wouldn't play either.
Yeah, of course not.
Those white shorts.
Imagine that. Yes, so they were missing also Goldaniga, Morata, Diao, Adai, Diego Carlos, while Udinese were missing Atazamura, Bayo, and Buxa. So it was Bute in goal for Como in a 4-3-3 with Moreno, Kemp, Ramon, and Van der Bremt at the back, Dacunia, Perrone, and Kakere in the middle with Jesus Rodriguez on the left, Voivoda on the right, and Duvikas up front. For Udinese, it was a 3-5-2 formation with Padelli in goal. Did we talk? I wanted to talk about Padelli last week, about how he's still around and where he's been in his career.
No, we didn't. We didn't
do that. Padelli is 40 years old nowadays. I can't believe he's still playing in the league.
Holy fuck.
Yes, this is the Padelli who used to play with Inter, Torino.
Oh my god.
Click him.
What the hell is he, man?
He's the keeper.
La. Padelli. Jesus
remember
Christ.
That face,
yes, of course.
Christensen, Cavasele, Bertola were at the back with Zanoli on the right, Kamara on the left, Piotrowski, Karlstrom and Eklinkamp in the middle with Zaniolo and Davis starting together up front.
Oh my god. So 2015 he played with Torino,
right? Yeah.
And then he moved to Inter in 2017, stayed there until 2021, and now he's been at Udinese since 2021.
Yeah. Talk about longevity. So Udinese's first shot of the match came after winning the ball high up the pitch. Zaniolo tried a cheeky chip from distance, but it was nowhere near the target. That was Udinese's only attempt in the entire first half, while Como dominated the ball from the start. Calm build up, lots of patience, and Udinese sitting off, just allowing them to hit. In the 18th minute, there was the goal. Piotrowski cheaply conceded the penalty. It was a completely unnecessary challenge.
Literally. So early on as well. Unnecessary.
Yeah, Dacunia stepped up, he buried it, and this was his first goal of the season and ultimately the winner. Como could have killed off the game in the first half, to be honest. After this, Rodriguez curled one in from inside the box but dragged it wide. Perrone tried an audacious back heel inside the area, but Padelli saved it, and Udinese offered absolutely nothing with the ball. They were very passive and reactive. And the second half, Udinese finally woke up. Runjaic changed the shape. At the break, he switched from a back 3 to a back 4. Lennon Miller came on and immediately added energy and balance. Eklinkamp had a big chance to equalize, but he pulled his shot wide to Bute's left. This was the best Udinese moment of the match. Zaniolo had thought he'd scored. He dribbled past Bute and crossed the ball and crossed the line with the ball at his feet after being set up by Miller nicely, but there was a VAR check, and it turns out Zaniolo had been standing in
It was a
offside
fantastic
position.
dribble over the keeper.
was a lovely
it gave
dribble.
me Ronaldo el fenomeno type.
It's true. He dribbled him so effortlessly, and like without like normally you see them knock it past them and chasing, like all that. Very impressed by Miller, but Duvikas smashed the inside of the crossbar from a great position. That should have been 2-0 and game over. Nico Paz was actually introduced in the 68th minute. Didn't change the match flow. Como still in control, and Udinese struggled to counter. They saw it out comfortably, Como, and in the end it was a pretty solid victory for Como. I think they struggled at moments, especially in the second half when Runjaic made his tactical changes, because Runjaic can read the game very well.
Yes.
I think. But yeah, that's it.
I think you couldn't have seen two different sides stylistically go head to head over here. You have an Udinese that's all about physicality and taking their opponents out of the game, whereas Como play super vertical football with quick touches, and they're all quite small in stature. I mean, Kakere, Perrone and Acuna and Jesus Rodriguez and Voivoda versus the big figures of Udinese. It was interesting to see. It's like you had Spider-Man fighting the Hulk.
Yeah, that's a nice way of
which
putting
was really interesting to watch. I think Como just had a bit more quality. I think on another day, Udinese could have disrupted them more. But I think Como really want it right now for two reasons. A, they just came off a spell where they lost 2 games in a row. And they're looking to get that momentum back again. And Fabregas must be on their ass. In fact, they just got another win now as well. So they've extended that win, this winning streak to 3 in a row.
They're currently in 5th.
They're currently 4th,
but Roma won as well.
But
so
Roma just won. Oh my God, it's updating as we go on with the episode.
By the
but
time you listen to this,
also, not having Nico Paz on the pitch, which is a leader, not exactly verbally, vocally, or as a captain, whatever. He's the leader of the team. He's the star man.
Yes.
Without him, Dacunia steps up. As even the rigorista in this game. Perrone steps up, Kakere steps up, Jesus Rodriguez steps up, and I think they had that extra motivation from having their star player have the runs.
Yes, they could have totally killed the game off, and it could have bitten them in the ass. A game they dominated. I think they should have definitely got another goal. Some missed opportunities. Perhaps Rodriguez should have been a bit more clinical, especially, or Duvikas as well. But did we say it was Duvikas who scored at the beginning, by the way? We might have. It was Dacunia. Fuck. But with the DFs.
No, you're right. Yes, it was.
Did he score today? Seeing him
he
score
did,
today.
He did score today. It must have thrown us off.
But yeah, anyway, Zaniolo for me continues to impress for Udinese. Still looks very dangerous. And according to Gazzetta, Lennon should be starting midweek. I can't wait to watch him again. He's so excited.
Tell me a bit about Lennon
Lennon's
Miller.
a teenager, man. He's a teenager who was brought in from Scotland. I believe he's only...
he's 19.
19, yes.
Yes, from Motherwell.
Yes, he is very inventive, very... he's got a lot of flair about him. He's 6 feet, so he's got some size to him as well. But he can sniff out a pass, man, and he's a very exciting player.
Okay, what kind of midfielder would you say he is?
He is a playmaker.
He's a playmaker.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay. Keep an eye out, Lennon Miller. Jake knows a talent when he sees one.
Yes. This is interesting. Look at this. So I love reading the Wikipedia page, the personal life. Lennon is the son of former Scotland international Lee Miller. His mother died when he was 5 years old, right? Buzzkill. He was the older brother, okay, blah, blah, blah. But this was funny. So he attended Coltness High School in Wishaw. What the hell are these words? Where his PE teacher rated Miller more highly than other future elite players he had seen as adolescents, including David Turnbull, who also emerged as a midfielder for Motherwell, and whose 2020 departure was the club's record sale until eclipsed by the fee paid for Miller 5 years later.
Oh, wow.
So the PE teacher noticed, like,
called
this guy.
it.
Yeah, he called it. He was like,
He
this
called
guy's
it.
the shit. He's
Shout
a real
out
cheese.
Lennon Miller. Keep an eye out for Lennon Miller, guys. Should we jump to the next game?
Yes, let's.
Amazing.
So standings, Como are somewhere in 4th or 5th with 30 points. 33 actually, because they just won. While Udinese are 12th with 22 points.
Absolutely, brother. relegation 6-pointer here. Fiorentina, Cremonese. Well, Cremonese, not really, to be fair.
Not as we stand.
Yeah, Fiorentina win the game 1-0. La Viola recently picked up their first 3 points of the season, only to lose in a relegation 6-pointer against Parma shortly after. This was a huge win for them, jumping to 18th from last place. They missed Lamptey, Richardson, Mari, Fazzini and Sabiri, while Ken was only fit enough to play the final few minutes. That's all he needed. Cremonese are now winless in their last 4, most recently losing to Napoli, but still flying in 13th. They missed Colo-Colo. 4-2-3-1 formation for Fiorentina, David De Gea in goal, backline of Ranieri, Pongracic, Comuzzo and Dodo. Over here, from what I have in front of me, Ranieri played as a left back. Yeah, make of that what you will. Indur and Mandragora and a double pivot with Fagioli just ahead of them. Goodmanson on the left, Parisi out on the right with Piccoli starting as the lone striker. Parisi starting as a winger really does show the intent that Juric wants to play a winger system. Juric, Madonna, Vanoli.
Yeah.
Well, you see where I get confused. They literally look similar as I look. 3-5-2 formation for Cremonese, David Nicolas, man. Out there in goal, backline of Terracciano, Bascarotto and Folino, Barbieri on the right, Pezzella on the left, midfield three of Paiero, Bondo and Van de Putte, with Bonazzoli and Vardy starting up front together. Fiorentina dominated early, Parisi hit the crossbar and Fiorentina held solid possession. Cremonese stayed compact and organised, quite frustrating the Viola. Controversy erupted when Piccoli went down under Bascarotto's challenge. Referee La Penna initially awarded a penalty, but after VAR reviewed it, the penalty was revoked. The VAR explanation was Bascarotto was held on the neck, but the collision is incidental to Piccoli falling and not a foul.
Piccoli couldn't believe it. He was like, look, my shirt is torn.
torn. Yes.
That proves it.
Yeah. Apparently had him by the neck, so yeah. The protests were loud and the atmosphere grew intense. Now in the second half, Fiorentina's energy levels seemed to drop and the team played really flat and unconvincing. Cremonese stayed disciplined, limiting clear-cut chances. The substitutions for Fiorentina became decisive, bringing in Moise Kean in the 85th minute, and in fact in the 96th minute, Fiorentina got the one and only goal of the game. It was Solomon on the left who delivered a cross, Fortini flicked it on, and Kean pounced on to score the winner. A simple finish, really. It seemed like a training ground routine.
I don't
really.
even think he meant to do it, Keane. It kind of hit off the goalkeeper and into the back of the net, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even know if he knew much about it, to be honest.
No, but he always celebrates like he knew something about it. You know, he always does.
Nice to see Keane's luck changing. He's actually getting some bullshit goals.
Yeah. Still was very unlucky at certain points throughout the season. But yep, Fiorentina snatched a late crucial win. That's their second consecutive home victory. I think it was really good to see that they made a change with Solomon and actually paid off this idea that they want to play with wingers when the strikers seemed so isolated. They almost seemed to be running into each other constantly when they were playing a two up top, that maybe stretching their opponents and using that. When they stretch their opponents, they could actually use Keane to break into the spaces and be like this channel forward, because that's where he really plays best. But a vital 3 points and taking them already to 18th, and already if you look at the standings, it's already looking like, you know what, they might be okay after all.
You can see how much it meant to them at the end. You have Vanoli jumping on the back of his staff with joy. You know, I mean, this is a last second victory over Cremonese.
Exactly.
You know, it just goes to show how tough this is. But in reality, Cremonese this season have been everything that Fiorentina haven't been.
Exactly.
They've been organized. They've been well drilled. They've been lethal. They've been efficient. Literally the complete opposite. Organized, the complete opposite of Fiorentina. But I thought that Fiorentina didn't concede massive chances, which is a massive plus.
I liked that about them. I really like that.
Especially considering how shaky the defense has looked.
Oh, and I wanted to mention this. I was particularly impressed by some interventions Comuzzo had in this game.
Yes, especially
Comuzzo, he had a block on Vardy.
Yes.
He got back really well. Vardy looked explosive there.
I think Comuzzo should be playing there, I mean. You know,
he has a mistake in him, but he's a young defender. But the thing is,
there aren't
if he had
much better alternatives, are there?
Yes, but if he had better defenders around him, where it's like, you know, if he makes an error, like if Pavlovic makes a mistake, there's Tomori and Gabbia, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For him, there's Mari
He has been
and
much better than
Ranieri.
Mari. And he is much
Yes,
better than
yes,
Mari,
yes,
as it
yes,
stands.
yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Mari, you know, I mean, if you have a young striker on the opposite team who really struggles in physical duels and isn't that quick, you put Mari on him, he's gonna go home and spend the whole night crying because Mari's gonna bully him. Like, but Comuzzo is just more. He's more up for it against different types of strikers. You know, granted he's inexperienced, but let him learn, man. Whatever. You know, I liked the system.
Yeah, no, the system worked well.
It was a little bit better.
Back four with wingers. It was good. I don't think because it's very frustrating. I don't think they had a standout performance, but I think, you know, they didn't concede against a team that likes to score with a two-striker system with Petzella on one side, which is he's a very inventive left wing back. So they did well not to concede. The fact that they got the goal at the end was a nice stroke of luck for Fiorentina, which they haven't gotten in a while. I just want to give you a bit of background on Solomon, their new signing, and then we can move to the next game. We asked our Patreon chat what they think of Solomon, any Prem heads that or people that follow the Premier League would have any background on him. And Theo, our best friend really and an avid listener, said he's quite an interesting player. Originally he went to Fulham on loan and had a promising season for them. Spurs then snapped him up as a free agent. At Spurs he couldn't really get into the first team, had the likes of Son and Kulusevski ahead of him. Ended up in the Championship with Leeds on loan. Quite a successful season there, and they wanted to sign him, but I believe they didn't want to pay what Spurs wanted or something like that. He's been at Villarreal this half season, but doesn't seem to have gone so well. He had one really bad injury while at Spurs before the loan to Leeds, which kept him out for nearly a year. So it's definitely a weird fucking signing by Fiorentina. Perhaps one of the, you know, this is when you're battling relegation, already convincing some players to move to Italy from England is a little bit tough.
Yeah.
But this was a good opportunity for this player who it was actually a step up in his career, which for Fiorentina it's hard to find these players at the moment with them being so down in the dumps. But if he could add this width to the team that the team is seeking and he could play a good part over there, then it might be a bit of a coup after all. But Fiorentina now climb to 18th place on, well, to be fair, the teams that are, so Pisa, Verona and Fiorentina, which are 18th, 19th and 20th, are all on 12 points. So Fiorentina are last, but they're also 18th. But that relegation fight, look at that, brother. That's quite fucking crazy over there.
Juice, yeah.
12, 15, 17, 18, 21. Yeah, and then, of course, Cremonese are in 13th place on 21 points.
Yes. Fun fact about Solomon is he was suspended from Instagram after pro-Israel posts.
Damn.
Yeah.
Killjoy.
Killjoy. But
Killjoy
anyway.
soy.
Killjoy. Moving on to the next one. Sassuolo v Parma. The Emilia-Romagna derby. Every game Sassuolo plays a derby. Yes, it's both teams in reality had a chance to win this one. Sassuolo, of course, we're missing Berardi, Romagna, Bologna and Koulibaly, who's at AFCON, while Parma we're missing Suzuki, Indai and Friggin, of course, who's been out this entire time.
Yeah.
How is Friggin?
He's
want to see
friggin' bad,
Friggin,
bro.
man.
He's
I want
friggin'
to-
bad.
Yeah.
He's been friggin' out for ages.
He's friggin' out. Yeah. Lineups. So we had Muric in goal for Sassuolo under 4-3-3 with Doig, Muharemovic, Itzez and Valukovic at the back. Lepani, Matic and Thordsvet played in the middle, while Loriente was on the left, Fadera was on the right and Pinamonti played up front. Corvi was in goal for Parma in their 4-3-3 formation as well, with Del Prato on the right, Valeri on the left, with Circati and Valenti in the middle, Bernabe, Keita and Sorensen in the middle, with Oristano and Ondrejka on the wings, while Pellegrino was the lone striker up front. I miss his helmet.
I do miss his helmet as well.
Yes, so Sassuolo scored in the 12th minute, Valukovic crossed from the right, Thordsvet peeled off his man, and glanced the header home from about 10 yards. It was simple but well worked, and Parma's defense was asleep. Safe to say that it was a checkmate from Thordsvet himself.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Parma's response. So Valenti head wide from a decent position. Loriente got through, but Corvi smothered his finish. The game was very open, was very end-to-end at this point, and at the 24th minute, Pinamonti lost the ball by playing out the back. Literally played it past to his back line, and Pellegrino was being marked by Matic at this point.
Yeah.
Matic was obviously at the back because he likes to sit there and build up and dictate play. Pellegrino just literally used his physicality to turn Matic and found himself one-on-one from quite some distance, and he curled the ball from outside the box into the far bottom corner,
really good
completely
finish.
against the run of run of play, I would say. Yes, it was completely against the run of play.
Okay.
Yeah, Pinamonti nearly made amends after a misplaced pass in midfield, but Keita recovered brilliantly. Loriente fired straight at Corvi. He should have done much better. And in the second half, Pellegrino looked lively again. Doig got really close with a sharp turn from 12 yards, but he clipped the base of the post.
He did something. Doig. We missed.
I like Doig.
So we missed. You remember we missed that match day when we were both sick 2 weeks ago. He dropped a fucking stinker in that game, bro. Because I was covering the Sassuolo game. He gave away, I think. Did he give away 2 penalties? It was something like that, bro. Made so many mistakes at the back.
Was it 2 penalties?
And I don't know if it, don't quote me on that, but he made several errors at the back, giving the ball away. He was definitely at fault for 2 goals. And then the game after, he was a bit sloppy as well. Good to see he had a good moment in this game, but he's having a bit of a rough time, Josh Doig.
At the end of the game, it was Muric who turned into the hero. He rushed off his line to deny Almqvist. He palmed Almqvist's header over the line shortly after that. Kone went on to blast one over for Sassuolo, and both sides were pushing, but they lacked the finish. Pellegrino and Pinamonti, I believe, are both on 5 goals this season, bro.
Okay.
Who do you prefer?
I prefer Pellegrino. I do prefer Pellegrino. I think he's more explosive, and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. Pinamonti, I feel like he's a bit of a journeyman. He's good. I like him, but I think he's almost average in all positions. I think Pellegrino is very good in the air. I think he's very strong. He's very explosive. He has a clear identity to the way he plays as a striker. Pinamonti, I'm not quite sure what his main strength is. His finishing isn't completely clean. You see him totally isolated in games. I prefer Pellegrino personally.
I prefer Pellegrino too. I think he's very serviceable. He's very powerful man. His head is
it's great.
Incredible head. Correction, by the way, Pinamonti it's 4 league goals.
4 league goals.
Yes. But Pellegrino is actually on 5, yes, which is absolutely crazy.
So we're right.
Yes. Nice to see Pellegrino scoring for a Parma side that really struggles to score. Thordsvet, man, continues to be very, very important for Sassuolo. The way he arrives late in the box is very dangerous, man, especially when Berardi's out, and they need to find some kind of other avenues to score from. He's the man.
He is, and he's been there a while, and we know how important Thordsvet is to this team. He was with them the last time they were in Serie A, where he was getting important goals as well. I'm not too sure how many goals he's on the season. I know he scored another important game against Pisa earlier.
I would bet 2, but I'm not confident. Let me check. Let's have a look.
But he's been at Sassuolo since 2022.
It is too.
Norwegian, of course. He is, how old is he? He's 26 years old, born in 1999. I think Thordsvet is a great talent, and his size is really important to this team, even winning headers, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, funnily enough, it was actually Parma who finished this game with the higher XG. They had the better chances.
But XG, sometimes it's not
of course.
Because if you have one really good chance that you miss, it skyrockets your XG.
Yes, that's true. Yes, so that is it for this one. Sassuolo are in 10th with 23 points, while Parma actually managed to get out of that relegation position. and are in 15th with 18 points.
Now, let's breeze through these last two.
Yes.
We'll do our predictions and we can call it
Yes.
an episode. So, Verona 0, Torino 3 is the penultimate game we're going to be covering. Verona recently picked up their first 2 wins of the season and they came in a row over Atalanta and Fiorentina, but they have now lost 3-0 in 2 consecutive matches against Milan and Torino. They missed Suslov, Akpro and Belgali. Torino were coming off a home loss to Cagliari. Here they missed Savva, Shores, Masina, Ilic and Pedersen. Verona played a 4-3-3 formation. No, sorry, I have the wrong bloody screenshot over here.
God!
Verona versus Torino. I'm literally, look at this. Look how quick I am, guys.
Look at that.
Look
In
at
the
this. I'm
meantime, Nick,
absolutely...
I sent you an XG chart on the group. Can you email it to me?
Side quests. 3-4-2-1 formation, of course, for Verona. Montepo in goal, backline of Bella Kochap, Nelson and Nunez, with Freze on the left, Oyegoke on the right, midfield 2 of Al Musrati and Serdar, with Bernadette and Joe Vane playing behind Mosquera. 3-5-2 formation for Torino, with Paleari in goal, backline of Ismaili, Maripan and Coco. Lazaro was on the right, Abuklal was on the left, with the midfield 3 of Vlasic, Ilkan and Genetis, with Shea Adams starting alongside Giovanni Simeone up front. So Torino put together, a clinical display to win this game 3-0. Verona aren't exactly the sharpest defensively, but it only took Torino 10 minutes to get the opener through Giovanni Simeone after a very sloppy Bernadette back pass. And he had no problem beating Montepo to score against his former team. He did play with Verona in 2022-2023 and he waved an apology to the home fans but showed no mercy on the pitch.
No mercy.
Verona had just climbed off the bottom with wins over Atalanta and Fiorentina, struggled without key players like Belgali, who was at AFCON, Akpro and Suslov, and despite Martin Fraser coming back from suspension and making some tactical changes at halftime, Verona left themselves exposed to Torino's vicious counterattacks. In fact, the second and third goals came in the final stages through Cesare Casadei, who scored after a swift transition started by Valentino Lazaro. And then Ingi himself sealed the win with a ferocious strike into the top of the net following a ball from Ismaili from defence, marking his first goal of the season. Great result for Torino. Good to see them blow opposition out of the water in the way that they did when it's typically them getting blown out of the water. I think one thing that is good about Torino is the level of depth they have up front for a team of their size. Perhaps with Simeone, Shea Adams and Duvan Zapata, they all offer something a little bit different over there. But in a game like this, with the counter-attacks that they're providing, I thought Simeone and Shea Adams were excellent in this game. They've both got more legs on them than, of course, the likes of Duvan Zapata. So I think they were well set up. I think, on the other hand, Verona, we know that they have this... Firstly, they're very heavily impacted by injuries on that front, which doesn't help them. You look at the lineup that I read out, it's quite abysmal in that sense. But Torino took advantage. They got a convincing 3-0 victory against them, and hopefully that will start to build some momentum for them.
Yes, interestingly enough, and this is a point, because you watch Hellas Verona and you can't believe how low down they are in the table, because they actually have a decent team, they play decent football, etc., etc. I found this XUG chart on Twitter that, Nick, you can actually pull it up on the screen. Why not? Because it's actually fascinating, man. So, first of all, first observation you have is that the eye test passes. Lecce are the team that creates the least.
Yeah.
And they score the least as well. Look at that. It's them and Parma, right? But Parma actually managed to rack up some decent XUG, as well as Pisa. Hellas Verona are massively underperforming their XUG compared to the other teams in and around that relegation.
I mean, name one person in their team that gets them goals, goal scorers.
Many people have been missing chances for them, with Jovan and Orban missing massive chances, especially Orban. Orban has been quite wasteful at times.
And then like
Yeah,
Mosquera as the
Interesting
other
to see as well that look at Milan. Who says Milan play boring football? Look at
No.
that. Look
Milan
at that.
are second
Yeah.
for XG
Yes.
in the entire
exactly.
league, if I'm reading this chart correctly.
Yes, you are.
Because Inter are first.
Inter are first for goals scored. Yes.
And XG.
And XG, actually. Yes, you're right. They are fucking blowing everyone out of the water.
They're
Alright.
blowing everyone at this stage, Inter.
Brilliant,
Here
very
fucking
interesting. So we'll move on to the last game because we are very pressed for time.
Yes, next time we will be better.
Yes, a bit rusty here. Somehow. Genoa 1, Pisa 1. This was a relegation 6-pointer and a draw that helps absolutely nobody. De Rossi is still without a win and Gilardino almost nicked it at his old ground. The only victory for Pisa against Genoa at home dates back to 1968, a 1-0 victory in Serie B with the decisive goal coming from Luigi Mascaliaro.
Yo, Mascaliaro, baby.
Mascalaito, I think.
Mascalaito.
Yes, whatever. That's what we're naming him, Mascalaito. So missing, of course, Genoa. We're missing Junior Messias, of course, Gronbeck, Cornet, and Onana, who's out at AFCON. Don't worry, Nick, not that one. Interestingly enough, Genoa have also lost Carboni,
Yeah.
who has left. He's gone.
Wait.
Yes, Carboni's gone. He left Genoa. He's
Wait.
been loaned out to some other team. You can check that in the meantime. Valentin.
Where the hell did Carboni
Pisa,
go?
obviously, we're missing everyone who earns decent money. Quadrado, Stengs, and Akin Samir's on international duty, of course.
All right.
So regarding the lineups, Leali was in goal for Genoa in their 3-5-2 formation with Vasquez, Ostigard and Ottawa at the back with Martin and Norton Coffey on the flanks. Thorsby, Frendrup and Malinovsky were in the middle with Vitinha and Lorenzo Colombo partnering up front. Schemper was in goal for Pisa in their 3-5-2 formation with Canestrelli, Raul Albiol and Bonfanti at the back. Tura on the right, Angori on the left, Leri, Abisher and Hoyhult in the middle. Morio and Meister partnered up front, Eminem. If you write down... There it is. Who's he trying? Racing.
Is this him, man? Fuck Twitter. Valentin Carboni set to join Racing de Avellaneda on loan.
Yeah.
Racing de Avellaneda. Congrats, Valentin. Sure.
Yeah, we'll miss you.
Yep.
I guess we barely saw you.
Would have loved to see more of him at Genoa.
Right.
Sure.
When De Rossi joined, we're going to see Carboni and Stanchu. I haven't seen Stanchu once. And
Carboni's in
gone.
Argentina
Yes,
or
he's in
wherever the hell this
Argentina
team is.
drinking mate. So there was a great atmosphere at the Ferraris. Leris shot early with an angled drive from the edge of the box that skimmed the far post. Vitinha responded with a curler that forced Schemper into a save. And in the 15th minute, Colombo did what he did. He chopped and curled it from outside the box into the bottom corner, absolutely out of nothing. A goal that Genoa badly needed and was absolutely brilliant. Pisa, they stayed in the game. In the 33rd minute, they had a huge chance. Angori crossed the ball, Leri headed it, and Leali got a touch to it and pushed it onto the crossbar. Genoa were hanging on, but in the 38th minute, Pisa managed to score. There was some chaos from a set piece. Angori delivered a free kick into a box. Leali came out and dropped it in traffic. Leri's was the first to react and kind of like dinked it in.
Mm-hmm.
Genoa were furious. They were asking for a foul on the goalkeeper, but Leali crashed into his own man, Vasquez. Seems to be
rings a bell.
Yes. Now imagine
This
he
a
crashed
foul?
into Vasquez, and on his way down, one of the Pisa players just kicked him in the chest.
They kicked him.
Yes,
Sure,
the
bud.
rest of the game was scrappy. It was tense. There were mistakes everywhere. Malinovsky was booked. There was more of a fight in the second half. Pisa looked slightly more comfortable while Genoa looked a little bit anxious. The best chance did fall to Genoa though, with a Thorsby glancing
Yep.
header, of course. And Schemper produced a very good one-handed save on the line. After that, there were lots of duels, lots of fouls, but neither side managed to take full control. And I think a draw was probably a fair result over here.
I would say so. from the bit I watched of this game, because like I said, I only caught bits of it. I thought Genoa were slightly more convincing than Pisa, but it's typically because Genoa tend to play a more attractive brand of football and Pisa are more the disruptors. So I actually think they faced across each other pretty well. I think, man, look, Gilardino has I'm going to be honest, man for man, that team is not Serie A worthy. Pisa.
Fair, yes.
I think Gilardino has set them up in a way that makes them disruptive and effective to some degree, and I think they're blessed to have a coach like him. I am preferring Tramoni, and I think he's growing as the season goes on. He did feature in this game, I'm quite sure, man.
You might be confusing it with today.
With
Tramoni had a
today's
really
game.
good game today.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, in the first half he almost scored, in fact. Today.
I am preferring Tramoni at the moment.
Okay.
Yes, he didn't. Did he play in this game that we're covering right now? No.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm fucking liking him.
Do you know that Pisa is the team that has been awarded the most penalties in their favour in
No
Serie A?
way, and they have that
5.
idiot stepping up to
And
take
they have
every single
Inzola,
one.
Mbala, Alabama, Donanzola. He sucks, man. I hate Inzola, honestly.
I know you do.
I think he's awful. I
I know you do. Him and Giassi.
I like Jazzy. I don't mind.
It was the
Jazzy.
other
At
way
least
round
Jazzy
before.
works hard.
Because now he's a wing back, but when he was
Yeah,
a
when he was
striker, he was
striker,
fucking god awful.
yeah.
That Giassi. I'd
But
have
at least
chosen
he
Zola
pressed,
over him
you
any
know.
other day.
Yeah.
Yes,
equal
Colombo,
with Torino,
nice,
by the
bro.
way.
Fuck
Yes.
yes.
Yes,
Fuck yes.
Well done, Colombo. More of that, please. Also, 92% of Pisa's goals have come away from goal.
Away from goal.
Away from home. Sorry.
Away? Oh,
Away
wow,
from home.
okay.
Impressive. eh?
Okay. Probably because they have such an international airport in Pisa.
What do you mean by
It's
that?
great for connection flights.
Really?
And you
Sorry,
go
never had a
anywhere in
connection flight
Italy,
in
you're like,
Pisa.
you're going to Florence, you land in Pisa. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing. Where and then you go have a coffee next to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you pay €50 for a cappuccino, and you get on with your day.
You're a piece of shit, bro.
You're a
Throwback.
Genoa asshole.
De Rossi and Gilardino were teammates as players in the Italian under-21 team for 13 matches.
And under 21 team.
And they also won the 2004 European Championship in the final against Serbia and Montenegro.
They also won the World Cup.
Were they both in the squad?
Yes.
Was there a scene?
Gilardino scored.
I remember Gilardino,
that goal.
yes, of course.
De Rossi got that red card for the elbow against USA.
Oh, man, you know, we realized that it's been 20 years.
Crazy, man.
20
But I
years.
remember that. He got a red card for elbowing someone in the face and got a red card
Yes.
against the USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to rewatch that tournament. Like
Should we do it?
Let's do
What's
it.
this?
What
We
the
do
hell, why
it.
not? We have predictions to make.
Yes, let's.
Them on screen right now, the
Oh,
picture.
you
I don't-
sexy fuck.
I don't know if it's them.
Let's have a look.
Aha, because so just to be clear, so there's.
That's them and they fuck.
I thought the fixture is amazing, amazing, nice, bro, good shit. So just to talk a bit about the fixtures before we get into our predictions. So there's of course football going on as we speak right now. Sassuolo, Juve, and then tomorrow Bologna, Atalanta, etc., etc. And then Thursday Milan, Genoa, the likes, Cremonese, Cagliari. And then there's the match day that we are going to be predicting now, which is match day 20.
Is that?
And then from the 14th of January to the 15th of January, there's match day 16 for Napoli, Inter, Bologna, and Milan. Christ! So these teams are exhausted. Milan think, because we're playing one competition, might as well be playing 7.
Oh my god, these fixtures. This is going to be a hard one, huh?
This is going to be a hard one, but let's start. Como, Bologna. I'll start. So Bologna beat Como last time round with the score of 2-0. And they showed massive
Is this off the top of your head?
class. Yes, Como Bologna, I remember it quite clearly. Because Como were doing really well, and then they came up against like their first big challenge of the season, and Bologna killed them. I think that because of the spells that they're currently going through, now obviously this is without knowing how Bologna are going to fare against Atalanta, and the fact that Como just beat Pisa away 3-0. I think this is a draw.
I'm gonna go as far as a Como victory, man.
Wow.
I think Bologna are down in the dumps right now, and
Wow.
I think Como might actually do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Udinese, Pisa, my brother. What do you think?
This is for me a draw.
It has draw written all over it. It has very physical written all over it. It has wing play written all over it. It has fucking maybe not a game that is gonna produce massive counterattacks, etc. It does have draw written all over it. I'm gonna go draw again.
All right. Next one's on you.
Roma, Sassuolo.
What's the score, by the way? What's the tally? Am I beating you 3-1? 3-1?
You are beating me
4-1?
3-1.
3-1.
Relax. Hey.
Okay.
Roma, Sassuolo. Oh, look. Another game that has draw written all over it. I'm gonna go for a Roma win. They have to get a win.
I'm gonna go for a draw.
Yo. Atalanta, Torino.
You up first?
Yes.
Atalanta win.
You, exactly. Yes, I agree. Atalanta win. Now me, Lecce, Parma. God. Lecce, Parma. Lecce, Parma. These relegation dogfights typically ending up biscotto draw, eh?
Yeah, but only with
Afcon impacts Lecce a bit. Parma win.
draw.
Okay. Fiorentina, Milan.
Draw.
Milan win. Verona, Lazio. Verona are too impacted at the moment, man.
No.
Lazio win.
Lazio win.
Lazio win. The big one. How exciting. Inter Napoli. I don't want to say draw. It's boring. I don't want to say draw. I know. Inter win. Inter win.
I say Napoli win.
Oh, Inter at home, huh?
Yes, but Conte against Skivu.
I know.
And the form. I mean, they've both been on great. This is going to be a crack.
I know, but Inter have struggled against the top teams. Napoli haven't, apart from the loss against Milan. I know, but they have to. There's Kivu knows he has to. He has to win this game. He has to, and it's a 6-pointer. Insane.
Yeah.
Genoa, Cagliari. God knows whose turn it is. Me. What
the Sigma?
What the hell? Draw.
Cagliari win.
Juve, Cremonese.
Juve win.
Win. Guys, I need to piss so badly. We'll be back same time next week. As you guys know, we're going to be covering the
other
two.
way. Guys, thank you very much. Goodbye. I have to piss so bad. But Matt does it the other way, of course.
We're going to be covering 2 match days next week. We'll briefly go through this one and then get into the next one. But we will cover the likes of, I just contradicted myself. We'll cover match day 19 briefly and then cover 20 in further depth. The following week we'll of course have to cover 2 match days again because match day 16 is taking place. But for everything you need to know about Serie A, guys, we're here for you.
Here. Smash the like button, it turns into a football.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Turns into a football.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, what are you going to believe? You're going to try it, eh?
As the Italians would say.
He's killing you.
I've learned this from Duolingo. The Italians would say, check it out. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
If you like Serie A or have ever liked it in the past, it's a good opportunity for you to listen once a week and you'll get filled in.
In the football weekend, that's like the main dish. But then a few days later, you drop your episode and that's like the dessert. And the dessert is just perfect.
It's good, the cake.
It makes it feel like we're all sitting in a room together, just BSing with each other.
The atmosphere is fantastic.
I promise nobody will ask you to send boob pics.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I love how you go into so much detail and show so much passion towards each and every team. Literally, no team is left undiscussed.
When I listen to you, it's like I'm talking to you in a pub. It's like I'm chatting to a friend and you're chatting to me.